Hey guys, so the question today that we're going to be answering is what is holding you back from abundance? You might have some financial goals in mind, so that is what we're going to be checking into today, just seeing what is holding that up. I also wanted to mention before we get into it, if you have any story ideas or video ideas, any questions that you're kind of burning to know the answer to, please make sure to drop it in the comments. I'm always looking to help people. That's why I started this channel. So for me, if there's like an idea or a topic that you guys really want to know about, suggest it. And obviously I'll have to check in with my spirit guides and make sure that they want me to answer that question. But you know, I'm always looking for new topics. I always want to find the topics that will be most applicable to my audience. So if you guys have something that you need to know about, drop it in the comments and I very well might do a video about it. Obviously it has to be general. It has to be not like what, you know, score is my cousin Lenny gonna get on like Mario Kart or something. It has to be applicable to, you know, a lot of people since it's a general reading. But if you have, you know, some area of life you want to know about, something specific like career or love or anything, leave it in the comments and I might do it. So I just wanted to put that out there because I feel like if I can help someone else and they're struggling in a certain area, that's why I do this. So with that being said, now I will let you know the numbers of all the videos. That's number 1, the pink one. 2 is the green one. 3 is the purple one that matches my nails, and 4 is the orange one. So go ahead and tune into the energies. I'll be quiet now and let you tune in. So hopefully you had one really calling to you. Remember, the thing to keep in mind is, you know, what is going to happen with my abundance or what is blocking my abundance. That's what, just keep that in your head when you're tuning in. But hopefully one already jumped out at you. If not, you can always rewind and then pause and spend a little bit more time with each of the piles. But with that all being said, let's jump into pile 1. Hi pile 1, so you guys have this beautiful pink cake with apples on it, so cute. So I was actually going to live shuffle, but I had pre-pulled I was pulling the cards and it wasn't filming, but I didn't get far in the reading before I noticed. So I'm just gonna pull out the cards I had because I'm already getting a message from Spirit that they were the accurate cards. So you got the 5 of Wands, the 5 of Pentacles reversed, the Page of Swords, the King of Pentacles reversed, the 3 of Swords, the 7 of Pentacles reversed, the 2 of Swords, the Devil reversed, Temperance, the 6 of Cups, the 8 of Cups, and the Knight of Cups. Okay. So the message that I'm coming through, and I was hearing it in my head as I was pulling these cards, is the line from the Taylor Swift song, Call It What You Want. And the line that I'm thinking of is when she says, I brought a knife to a gunfight. And so in that song, she's kind of talking about, like, I realize I've talked about her in other readings for some reason, but I feel like she's talking about that moment with Kim and Kanye where it was like an embarrassing kind of public L that she took. And I just feel like in this reading, the energy I'm getting is kind of a sense of loss, a sense of realization that something got messed up, or it's like this feeling of loss, of like I took an L, I didn't get what I thought was going to work out, or what I thought was going to happen didn't happen, you know, and it's coming in really strong, kind of like sorrow. I feel like this has been a difficult time for you and it's kind of hard to find hope a little bit. I feel like that I love that song and I love that line in it because I feel like what it talks about is like that moment. There's always a moment when you're having like a bad decision or a bad time when at first you're kind of like, well, whatever. I mean, I don't care, you know, and then you're kind of in denial, and then there's like the realization moment of like, this is really bad, where you kind of like have to admit it, And then there's the realization where you're kind of like, how did this happen? What did I do to contribute it? And it's not to say it's your fault, but it's just like, I feel like we all have those things where it's like, damn, I could have gotten out of that earlier, or I could have left this, or even if you know that it wasn't your fault and that the person was being evil, like, it's just like that painful realization where it kind of washes over you, like the depth of everything that happened, and whatever this sense of like, what did I lose? And so I feel like it's just a really hard time for you right now. And I feel like also your money might be affected. Like you might have tried to start a business or been hoping something would work out, and it just hasn't. You might be in some situation where you're kind of financially stuck. Like you thought that you were going to be able to move out of like your living situation, and you just haven't been able to come up with the money, or you thought you were going to be able to pay for a certain thing, and it's just not a possibility. And I feel like there's this sense of like, there's this sense of loss. There's this sense of kind of like, I made a mistake, or why is this happening, or what did I do to deserve this? And there's this sense of, why is this kind of conflict and difficulty surrounding me? Why do I have to go through this heartbreak? It's a lot of like dark realizations of what went wrong, and like of the negativity that's happened in your life. And I just feel that energy so strongly of kind of like, I took an L and I really made a mistake. I feel that, this is like a pivotal moment for you where you were doing some things that were kind of dysfunctional. Not saying that it was bad, but I feel in a way like you tolerated things that maybe you shouldn't have tolerated. Like I feel like that for some of you, there was a kind of malevolent presence in your life, or a kind of dark type of person that was maybe controlling you or had bad intentions for you, and didn't want to see you succeed, and maybe has used that against you. There's people that like had it kind of out for you. I feel like they maybe were jealous, or they had issues with you or something, and they've wanted to kind of bring you down a little bit. They've wanted to bring chaos into your life. They've wanted to like hurt you in some ways, and I feel like in many ways they've succeeded, to be honest. It's like whatever they were trying to do, it has hurt your feelings. You are now in that moment of, wow, I had no idea this person was like this snake, and they had it out for me. Like I feel like, not to harp on the Taylor Swift metaphor, but in that song she's talking about the Kim and Kanye situation, and I think like that happened because Kanye called her and she was like, oh, we're friends now. And then he was like, yeah, I have this song idea. And he kind of like told her half of what he wanted to say. And she was like, yeah, that sounds okay. I mean, I guess. And then that wasn't all he said, and he was saying all this other disrespectful stuff, and then she objected, and then he was like, excuse me, I have the recording, and played like a deceitful recording of her, seemingly agreeing with it, and then she got all this public blowback. I only go into that whole story to say, I feel like that was kind of the situation here, where like there was someone who was lying to you about their intentions. Like they, like I feel like that phone call or that situation with Taylor and Kanye, again, not to like be obsessed with that, but I just think I'm feeling so called to that situation. I feel like it has a lot of parallels to your life. Like in that, I feel that Kanye kind of approached her like, hey, we're friends, right? Like we put all that in the past, and I just want to be close, and I just want to be friendly, and I'm just asking this to be nice. And meanwhile, he's like recording it, he's kind of plotting, then they release it, and it's edited and like chopped up, and it all seemed very coordinated, it all seemed very planned, like as if from the get-go, they knew this was going to go down, and it was all planned so that, you know, they could avoid looking bad in the public and kind of throw her under the bus. And it was almost like this malicious intent. And I feel like that's kind of something that's going on here, where there's someone who like has been having it out for you. Like there's jealousy, or there's just bad intentions directed towards you, that this someone in your life has been directing. And I feel like as much as you may like realize that it's hurtful to you, you still would have liked to have been like friendly to them, you know? You still would have liked to have like a positive relationship. I think you're someone that like wants to have positivity. You didn't want to have this kind of conflict with them. You wanted things to be like peaceful and like friendly and like a happy relationship. And I think this is in a way someone like you trusted, and if you could write the story of this relationship, it would be like happy and a positive ending, and like you guys getting along or something. Like if you had your way, there would be a positive vibe between you two. But this person has, I think, always had it out for you. Their intentions are not for you guys to get along and everything to be like hunky-dory and you guys to go like, you know, have a kiki and grab like, you know, mimosas on the weekend and like chat it up. This person, if they did that, they would probably be like gathering information, be like, tell me more about your breakup. How interesting. Oh, girl, you can vent to me all day. Of course you can trust me. And then go around and tell people that behind your back. Like they have been really fake with you. This is why I think the Kanye Taylor Swift thing kept coming to my mind, is because there's an aspect of fakeness. There's an aspect of pretending to like someone, pretending to, you know, want an honest relationship and be like, hey, let's let bygones be bygones. And then this really duplicitous level of planning and plotting and like, how do I get this person, bring them down kind of an energy. And it's really kind of nasty, like that they have such a attitude towards you. I feel like you are a nice person and you didn't deserve anything like this, you know? Like, I'm not saying you're perfect or you're Mother Teresa, but you don't deserve to be treated like this. You don't deserve to have this kind of contempt, and I feel like it's really hurt you, to be honest. I feel that it's really taken a toll on you in a way, like, how could someone treat me this way? How could they have such bad intentions for me? And it's like, almost like you're like, what did I do to deserve it? Why could someone be so cruel to me? You know, and it's almost like you're beating yourself up. And I feel like there's a lot of messages coming through from Spirit. Like, it's not to say that, so like, I feel like when a nasty, evil person comes around us, we do have a part to play, in the sense of it's important for us to like wake up, and you want to be positive, but you don't want to assume the best out of everyone when your intuition is popping off and telling you, stay away from this person, and you don't listen. You know, sometimes there's consequences. We have to listen to our intuition. God gave us intuition for a reason. And I feel like if you have a fault or a flaw in this, it's that you didn't listen. I feel like you had inklings that this person was shady, but you went against it, or that this person is not a nice person. You maybe have had run-ins with them in the past, but it's like, I feel like they're slippery and slimy, and they're the kind of person to like be like, hey, oh, that was a misunderstanding, or find a way to pull you back in all the time. You know, they're very like calculated kind of. And this is why I think like the Taylor Swift thing keeps coming to mind. I tend to like get a metaphor in my mind, and then I just kind of, but Spirit keeps bringing me back to that. I feel that in that case, like it's such an important parallel, because you, like with Taylor, she knew that Kanye was shady. Like, he already stole her freaking award in front of the whole world, you know, and like publicly humiliated her. And he was pretty unrepentant about it for a long time. So Taylor Swift, you know, I feel like at the back of her mind, she has some psychic placements. I know she has a Cancer moon and a Scorpio Mars. So it's kind of like, you should know because you are psychic. And I think now she seems more like she's leaned into that a little bit more. But at the time, I think she was just trying to be liked, and she thought, well, maybe he means it, and maybe if I'm really nice, you know, he'll be nice back. And that's just not how things work. People have their intentions towards you that have nothing to do with you or how not nice you are or how sweet you are. They have their own stuff, you know what I mean? And I feel that her mistake in that situation was trusting someone that had shown her that he's not trustworthy. And as like, you know, Maya Angelou said, when someone shows you who they are, believe them. And I feel like you had an indication that this person was not like nice to you. This isn't the first time this person has treated you badly. This isn't the first time this person has screwed you over or been just mean. I feel like this is like a mean person, honestly. This is like kind of nasty energy. And I think that for you wanted to see the best. There's something about this person. Maybe they are powerful. Like, I'm sure if Taylor Swift and Kanye, if Kanye had been like a random stranger on the street, Taylor would never have given him a second chance. But he's super powerful in the music industry, and she was like, I don't want to have this beef, so she tried to patch it up with him. And she ultimately ended up getting completely screwed over by him. So it's like, just because someone's powerful doesn't mean we need to even have a good relationship with them. If they're slimy and treacherous, just avoid. It doesn't matter, even if they are powerful. I mean, I know it's easier said than done, and sometimes we have to deal with these people that have the devil type of energy, but I think if you have any say in the matter, the best thing to do is avoid those people and know that, you know, spirit and your angels will give you divine protection, especially when you're doing something positive and standing up for yourself. So you don't need to worry. Any blows they come for you will bounce off. Like, I feel like now, again, harping on this metaphor, but since Taylor Swift and Kanye have had beef back then, now she's being really honest about, like, I don't like him and I want nothing to do with him and I think he's trash. And guess who's had like a big PR glow up, and guess whose PR has plunged? Taylor Swift has had the PR glow up, and Kanye is not doing so well in the press. So I think that it's funny because she was like trying to toe the line and be like really nice to him because he's so powerful. But once she was like, screw it and screw you, now suddenly, you know, she doesn't even have to worry about it. And that's what happens sometimes when you take back your power, is the person that was coming to get you, they just get vanquished by, you know, your angels and your team on the other side. I feel like the important thing about this that you should know is that what you're realizing, as painful as it is, it's the truth. So this person has had it out for you for a while. This is not the first time. It's not like you did something that made them be like mad at you and then they were like, you know what, I'm actually going to hurt this person because I'm so upset. It's like from the beginning, or for a very long time, they have been not liking you, to be honest. And I feel that they, you know, they're good at like hiding it. They're good at acting like, me mad? Oh, no, I'm an angel, you know, because they're slippery, they're kind of slimy, and so they are smart enough to know they're not going to come out guns blazing. They're going to act nice, they're going to act sweet, but that's not the reality. And I just feel like you were supposed to figure this out earlier almost, and you didn't. You know, this is maybe why we got, if I can actually lift it up with my nails, this is why we got, I think, like, this was you. You know, she's blindfolded. She doesn't want to see the truth. She's, you know, she knows something's up. Like, she wouldn't be holding those swords and stuff. And she knows has to make this decision, but she's not wanting to really see it. She's not wanting to look and actually take it all in. And I think for you're not like a nasty person. You're not like an evil person. So I think it's very hard sometimes when someone has pure energy for them to understand how or why someone would be so hateful or so mean or just have it out for them. But that's, you know, that's what's going on in the world, and plenty of people are that way. So it's important for you to, you know, realize that. I think before you were not delusional, but you wanted to see the best. You didn't want it to be like a negative situation. And so you kind of went away from your intuition and just were like, okay, let me make the best of this situation. So in some way you allowed this person to stay in your life. And this is obviously a general reading. I feel for some people this is like a coworker or a friend, acquaintance. For others, I think it's a romantic relationship that you're in with someone. And for others, I think it's like family. So I think it's like a big mix in this case. I'm not getting a particular vibe of like romance or family or coworkers. I feel for a lot, this is like a coworker or acquaintance, like a friend, someone in the friend group or something. But I'm really getting a mix of each. So take it how it resonates in your life. But if you were called to this pile, I think you probably already know who I'm talking about in your life. But it can really be a variety of situations. So it's not romantic in particular or coworker or family. It's going to be each, how it is for you, whoever that person is in your life. But yeah, this person has it out for you. And I just think that, I know it's a really difficult time for you right now, and I don't mean to minimize the pain or to dismiss it or be like, get over it. But I just think like this is ultimately such a blessing on your life. This person was so shady. And the more you allowed them in your life, the more damage they could do. I feel like if your life has not moved forward, I feel like for some of you, this has caused like financial loss. Like you were supposed to do better at your job or like move out, or there's just this person's presence in your life has really hindered you and really held you back. This person's energy, intentions that they're directing towards you at all times is shady at all times. Even when they're like acting friendly and nice and you're like, oh, you know what, maybe they're not that bad. That dream I had about them being weird towards me, that was just a dream. They're being so nice to me right now. Or I know I have that weird feeling whenever I'm around them, but they brought me like a little bag of chocolates today at work or whatever. And so maybe I've been really harsh on them. It's probably on me or something. And I feel like you've done that a lot. You've second guessed yourself. You've gone back and forth. You would like to see the best in them. I feel like if you had your choice, like I said, you guys would be getting along. There would be a genuine friendship or a genuine happy vibe between the two of you, but you have to understand that it's never, ever going to happen because this person has bad intentions towards you, period, point blank. They have bad intentions for you. They don't want to see you do well. They don't want to see you succeed. They don't want to see you happy. They don't want to be getting along with you and laughing on the weekend at brunch. They want you to suffer. They want you to be in pain. They want you to be upset. They want you to be in a negative mindset, and that's how they feel. And you could be like, well, why do they feel that way? I know it's hard to understand when you're coming from a high vibrational, positive place. It's because a lot of people have a lot of jealousy issues, quite frankly, and I think that's what's going on here. I think that's why the Kanye and Taylor thing kept coming to my mind. I think that he was like, she doesn't deserve to win these awards. And there was this weird jealousy / hostility aspect that had nothing to do with her or her music. He's just like a weird guy that is like weirdly jealous of people. He kind of did that to Beck. And like, he just is like that way. And so, people need to understand that there's people in this world that, are not going to like you, and it has nothing to do with you. And it's not something you need to introspect about, like, well, why does this person not like me? It doesn't matter. A lot of times people don't like you because they see an anointing on you, they see a blessing on you, they see your power and your potential. I think she had won Video of the Year, and he was mad that she won Video of the Year, so your success triggers them. I know it's hard, but take it as a compliment. Like, wow, I'm doing really well. Otherwise, this person wouldn't be so mad. And I feel like now that you've identified that, this moment, it is the truth. That, like, what you're realizing, all the thoughts you have about this person, or you realizing that you haven't been able to manifest as well because of this person's negativity in your life. I feel like for some of you, this person isn't even like or I mean, I think they are going behind your back and talking, and they're all doing all kinds of shady stuff. But you might not think, well, you know, they didn't get me fired from my job, or they didn't directly affect my money, or something like that. They didn't directly, you know, steal money from me, or blah, blah, blah. But they are affecting your money because they're affecting your ability to manifest. I feel like you spend a lot of time thinking about this person. You spend a lot of time like on edge because of them, even if you're not, like, I feel like they kind of ruin your mood, ruin your vibe, ruin, like, if you're in a happy mood, they'll find a way to kind of ruin it, type of energy. And I just think that it's almost impossible for you to manifest something super big right now because your energy keeps being undercut by them. I feel like you might try to be manifesting something really big, like a new move, or you know, some promotion or something, and then they will come around you, and suddenly your energy gets like cut in half. You're focused on them, and then whatever energy you would have directed towards manifesting, towards getting money, it's just kind of gone, and you have to like rebuild and rebuild, and it keeps happening. And so you're not able to progress at the rate that I think Spirit wants you to progress. I think that this situation is, you know, something you're supposed to leave behind. Even if you can't remove this person from your life, you should be actively working to put up energetic blocks between the two of you. So, you know, you could wear black tourmaline or other black crystals. Obsidian is the other one. I use those two the most, but there's lots of black protective crystals that you could look up to use. You know, even asking your guides just to put a hedge of protection around you, or saying certain psalms, Psalm 23, or other protective prayers, you know, there's lots of protective stuff you can do to get, you know, protective energy around you, because I just feel like this person, they don't have your good intentions. And the problem is that you keep willingly engaging with them energetically, and you keep being like, well, let me be friends with them or whatever. And that's just allowing them to make more inroads in your life. I feel like if you were to lay down certain boundaries, even if they don't respect them, even if they try to trample over them, you're making an energetic point to like your guides and your team on the other side, like, I'm done with this. And they'll start moving this person out of your life and protecting you. Even if it takes a while, they will start that process. But right now you keep engaging with them, changing your mind, being like, well, I don't know. And it's just going to allow them to wreak more havoc in your life. But I really feel like for most of you, you're kind of done with this person. You're kind of like, you're over it. You figured it out, you know it, and this is the truth. I know it's been painful, but this, you know, you realize the truth about this person. You finally figured it out. I feel like you knew it the whole time, but you would always second guess yourself and stuff. And so now you're aware of it, you know? And I think that the positive thing is we have so many like happy cards in the end. We have so many cards about success, about abundance. So you don't really need to worry so much. I feel like once this person is removed from your life, the success is going to come a lot faster. And I also feel like you have like this energy of success around you and over you, and that's what this person is picking up on, and that's what this person doesn't like. But you need to know that, you know, you are on this path for success. You are on this path for like a positive, victorious outcome. And so you don't need to stress about it as much. I think your guides are heavily protecting you, but you have to know that when you're on a path to success, is that people are going to come out and hate on you because of that. People can see the vision of where you're headed. It's like an energy that hangs around people. And again, not to be totally obsessed with Taylor Swift, but this just keeps coming to my mind for you, and I just feel like there's so many parallels. Back then, she was kind of not as big. I mean, she was big in country music, right? But she wasn't, you know, the superstar, worldwide superstar that she is today. She was really big in country music, like the biggest thing in country, but that was like one genre, right? And people had never seen, I don't think, a country music star cross over the way she did to kind of conquer everything. So I feel like when you think about like why on earth would Kanye West get mad at some really young country music star, like it just seems so bizarre that he would even have a beef with someone like that when he was like huge at the time. But when you see the trajectory of what's happened to her, I think probably at the back of his mind he could sense this energy in her of what she was going to become, and it provoked all this jealousy and low vibration emotions in him, and I think he was drinking at the time, so that can bring it out even more. I'm not sure if the person you are hanging around with is drinking a lot, but it definitely could be that this person kind of uses substances or alcohol, and then it brings out like the nastier side of them. But I'm kind of getting that vibe for some of you. This person might be an alcoholic, and it might be making them even nastier. And for those of you who, I feel like for some of you, this person could even be like violent or like a really mean drunk. I don't think it's for everyone, but I feel like for some of you, maybe who are in a romantic connection or a family, or you're living with this person, you have to see them kind of whacked out and not thinking straight, and that's when they get really mean. In which case, I'm so sorry you're dealing with that, and make sure you think about your safety, because obviously if this person is drinking mind-altering substances and stuff, then that's not something and they're being violent, that's not acceptable ever, and you should, take steps to protect yourself as much as you can. I know it's really difficult sometimes to move out financially, especially at a time like this, but there are programs you can join for, domestic violence and stuff, or battered women's shelters, so that's something to think about. Or even applying for Section 8 housing or something like that, and explaining the situation. But I feel like if this person is violent or an alcoholic, and there's any aspect of violence, then you should take steps to leave this situation, because it's nothing you should put yourself, through. And, but anyway, I just feel like going back to that metaphor, so I feel like even if you're like, well, why is this person so jealous? I don't have that much going on. It's like they can see the vision of where you're headed. They can see the anointing on you, and they can see that you are, headed in this direction that's like so amazing. And so I think that it provokes jealousy and anger from them. And so part of that is like when you have this anointing, sometimes you have to be more alone for periods of time than others. Sometimes you're lucky enough to get to, go on that journey with other people, but sometimes it's like, well, you got to find your tribe. I feel like you have this beautiful, almost childlike, optimistic, happy, pure energy about you, and it provokes anger in other people. I'm hearing a quote from Denzel Washington that I saw the other day that was like, sometimes the beauty sometimes you provoke other people's demons, and it's so true. Like, I feel like that's what's going on here, is like the beauty and love that you emanate is provoking nastiness and anger and evil from this person. Maybe they have some kind of low vibrational attachments, be it a ghost or an actual demon, or just different attachments people can have to them. And I feel like that might be provoking them to act this way, but you definitely shouldn't tolerate it. And you don't want to be around that. You don't want to be doing battle with like dark supernatural entities. I mean, you're not going to fix that. Trust me. Unless you're like an exorcist, you can't, like, who even wants to deal with that? Even the exorcists don't, like, the exorcists take a lot of, it's a difficult job, so you do not want to be dealing with that, and they train their whole lives for that kind of stuff. Like they go through a lot of intense training, so you don't want to have to deal with that. You have a beautiful anointed destiny, I feel like, and it's just not something that you should have to tolerate. So I think they're just telling you that basically try to move this person out of your life. The realizations that you're having, as difficult as they are, this is stuff that you're finally realizing what's actually going on between the two of you, when you're finally coming into an awareness of how this person has always felt towards you. This is not new. There's nothing really you did to provoke it. And I feel like You just need to, you know, do things to protect yourself, do things to come into your power. And this card fell. It says, back to what you love, reevaluate your desires, and you are limitless. You can do anything you choose. So they want you to lean into your power. I don't feel like you need this person. I feel like sometimes you feel like you need this person, but you really don't, you know? And I feel like if you did cut them off, everything would just be so much better for you. Love who you are. You are divine, delightful, and deserving of the wonderful things life has to offer. You need to remember that. Like, you are so special, and I get such a special, beautiful energy from this pile, and also the energy of deep success. I mean, I really feel that way. And I think that's why the Taylor Swift thing comes to mind. At the time, she was a nobody, and people were like, why is he even beefing with like a 19-year-old country singer? And now, you know, she's getting Time magazine covers that say Taylor Swift is the music industry and breaking all these records and stuff. It's like, because I think, you know, whatever was going on with him at the time could feel the destiny she had on her and could feel the trajectory. So even though she seemed just like a 19-year-old country singer who cares, she had this energy about her of like her future success. And that was what really pissed Kanye West off. And I think this is the situation here. You have to understand that as difficult and horrible as this is to have someone direct this energy towards you, it's a sign of how much potential you have and where you're headed. And I feel like you don't even realize how powerful you are. You don't realize how beautiful of a soul you are, how much love you have, how much potential. That victory is going to be yours. You just have to get through this time. Realize that this is a blessing in disguise. This person needed to be cast out of your life to make you realize, to free them from you. Because when you come into your success, it'd be a lot worse if they can, if they're out of your life, or if they're, it would be worse if they were still in your life once you come into the success. I feel like that's the thing. When Kanye did that to Taylor Swift the first time, she got all the blowback, right? Because people were disgusted. But the more she let him into her life and the more success she had and the bigger name she had, the more damage she was able to do. So that when it happened the second time, she was the one who got the blowback. So that's the danger of letting someone who has bad intentions towards you into your life, especially on your success journey. There's so many other celebrities that have had nasty hangers around on them, like Selena Quintilla, who had, you know, a literally murderer on her team. So it's like, that's the thing. Just because someone is hanging around you or you enjoy them or you're trying to help them, that doesn't mean that's going to change what's inside of them or the bad intentions for you. And if Selena had realized that this person was shady, you know, day one, she would never have been able to do as much damage, and Selena, you know, might still be alive. It's so important for us to listen to that intuition and to know that whatever you're realizing about this person and their nasty intentions towards you, it's a blessing, because the success that's coming your way, they could really sabotage it if they're still in your life by that point. So it's important for you to prepare yourself and now, and kind of make steps to remove them from your life as much as you can. I know it's difficult when that person is like a family member and that, you know, this person is hanging around you and you feel like you can't, you know, you can't get rid of them. Like, this is my aunt, or this is, or even, you know, if it's like your boyfriend and it's someone that you are kind of commingled with, like financially, or you have all these friends or whatever. But this is someone you need to cut out or take steps to remove from your life. You got the 5th house, Mercury and Capricorn. So you are on this deep energy of success. And even though this is a temporary setback and it's a positive lesson. Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, which is like the hardest lessons. But the funny thing about it is Saturn will kick your ass, but it will give you the biggest rewards in the end. And I just feel like this is a temporary setback that's preparing you for the huge blessing in the future. But you have to learn from this situation. Mercury is ruling over like learning, communication. You have to realize that this is what it is, and this is the situation, and you can't be delusional about it or wishing it could change. You have so much abundance and happiness and blessings coming into your life in the future. And like happiness and just laughing and joy, you know, and that energy is wanting to come in, but it really can't with this person with their nastiness hanging around you, directing negative thoughts in your direction. So it's really important that you pluck them out of your life as much as possible, remove them and clear that space so that the positive energy can come in, the positive people. I feel like you're so lovable to so many people. So many people really like you, really enjoy you, really want the best for you. They see the light in you and they're happy about it. They're not going to be jealous. They're not going to be angry. It's just that this person's a dark character with a dark energy. They're represented by the devil card, you know? And so you have to just understand that and know that you don't have to tolerate it anymore. You don't have to keep them in your life. This is not like something you did that you deserve to be treated badly. No, that is not the case. You don't deserve to be treated badly. You deserve the best, and you need to make steps to allow that energy to come in, because right now continuing to allow them in your space is blocking the success energy that wants to come in and is like banging down the door and is like, let me in. And you are just blocking it by allowing this negative, malevolent creature to hang around you. So don't second guess yourself. Don't second guess your intuition. Learning to listen to your intuition and learning to trust your judgments of people is one of the biggest steps you can take in your life. And for me, my life really transformed once I started doing that. And once I stopped second guessing my intuitive feelings about like, she's always nice to me, but I kind of get a weird vibe, or like, the way she was looking at me at brunch, I don't know. But then she, you know, I caught her staring at me and she had a weird look in her eyes, but then she smiled at me right after. So maybe she was just, you know, looking off into space, and it just so happened to me looking at me, and it had nothing to do with, it's like, you're always doing that. We all want to see the best in people. Or, you know, when I made that joke and then she kind of made a rude comment, but I think she didn't mean it. She, you know, she kind of laughed after she said it. So I'm sure she was just kind of joking too. We all, like, that is something I used to do so much of. And once I stopped doing it and listened to that amazing Maya Angelou quote of, when people show you who they are, believe them, my life just transformed so much. And I just feel like that's something you need to do. And with this person in particular, because they're not even just like a run-of-the-mill, like, kind of hater type person. I feel like this person really has been malevolent towards you, really has gone out of their way to hurt you, like plotting, planning kind of a vibe. And so this is not someone you want to be hanging around with. This is not someone you want to allow in your circle. If I were you, I would watch some YouTube videos about narcissism. I really love Dr. Ramani, and her name, like, sometimes I'll recommend people look up narcissism videos, but I'm literally hearing Spirit say that so loudly in my ear, like Dr. Ramani. So I think they want you to look up Dr. Ramani and watch some of her videos. She's really big on YouTube and has so many great resources and videos about narcissism, and they're very watchable too. So don't be afraid that it's going to be boring. Trust me, just look it up, watch a couple, because I think you will be like, oh my God, that's exactly what I've been dealing with. Ugh. And it's going to feel like such a weight lifted off, because like, I feel like this person plays psychological games and they do a lot of trickery, and that's why it's hard for you to sometimes trust and go with your intuition about them, because I feel like sometimes they act nice and they'll be like, oh, by the way, I'm sorry I said that the other day. You know, I really didn't mean, I was just and you're kind of like, like, what do I believe? Are they, it's hard for, they're not telling you honestly, like, hey, I hate you, by the way, and I have it out for you. They continuously play these, they're very good with their words, actually. They're very kind of manipulative with their words. So I feel like you are constantly in your head about, well, I don't know, like, is this the truth? Is it not the truth? And you go back and forth about it. And so it's really important for you to understand what they're doing, where they're coming from, the techniques they use. So watch videos about narcissism. I also like Surviving Narcissism is another channel that I watch a lot of, and there's a few different resources, but I think Dr. Ramani is a great start. and then surviving narcissism. And it's really, you know, a spiritual issue in my opinion. But watch those videos because I think they're going to resonate so deeply for you, and you are going to realize that that's what this person has been doing. They're triggered by your happiness, triggered by your success, and the more you allow them in your life, the more they're going to direct negativity at you. And the best thing you could do is cut them out entirely. That's not going to be an option for everyone, but it's something you should definitely be working towards. So, and then the abundance and all the money and all the success will, I think, just flow in, like pour in. So, I'm seeing like literally like that. If you've ever seen the DuckTales, you know, Scrooge McDuck has that big swimming pool of gold coins. You can Google it if you've never seen that, like Scrooge McDuck gold swimming pool or something. Oh my God, but that is what's coming to mind for you. So I feel like you have so much success, so much abundance that is really, truly wanting to head in. And once you remove this negative force from your life, it's going to be just flowing right in really quick. So I hope that helped you guys. Please leave it in the comments if it did resonate, and make sure to like and subscribe if you want to see more videos. I do post a video every few days. So if you want to see more, subscribe, and I will be back very soon with another message. So have an awesome day, you guys, and I will see you next time. Bye. Hey Pal 2, so I am so excited to do your reading. You guys have this beautiful blue, like starfruit cake. I think it's so cute. So let's get into it. I'm gonna do live shuffling because I kind of like that pace, and just so all the people that are always convinced that we're like pre-shuffling can see that we're doing live pulls. So let's get into it. What is holding Pal 2 back from abundance? Holding Pal 2 back from abundance. What is holding Pal 2 back? Okay, so I feel like there's someone kind of sneaky and oppressive around you who's like not being honest with you. Let me pull some more cards to see what else is going on here. What is holding Pal 2 back from abundance? Let me shuffle this. What is holding Pal 2 back from abundance? So I feel like there's been some like ideas you've had. Like you've had these kind of false starts. Like you had ideas that you thought were gonna work out. I'm feeling like, okay, it's gonna be this. It's gotta be this. Okay, I think I found it. Like I'm gonna try this. Almost like different businesses or different ideas. Maybe it's the kind of thing where like you thought you were gonna go into acting, and then you thought you were gonna, you know, be an accountant, and then you thought you were gonna start like a side business, and then, you know, that kind of a thing, and just like they just never like coalesced. These might just be even just ideas in your head and not actual things that kind of manifested in the real world, but more along the lines of like thoughts you had, like, okay, I think let me try this strategy kind of a thing, but then it's like it just doesn't work out and it just doesn't happen. I feel like right now what you're going through is there's a lot of confusion about what direction you're supposed to go in. And it's almost like your intuition is not able to access this part of your journey. Like, I feel like you are very psychic in many ways, and so that's maybe why you're frustrated, is because you're like, why can't I figure this out? I've been able to, you know, use my psychic abilities for so many things, but then when it comes to this aspect of my life, I can't get there. I can't get to the, you know, destiny point that I want to be at. Let me make sure this is recording, because by the way, I filmed this recording like so many times and it keeps being deleted, so I don't know what is going on with you guys, but I feel like maybe that's from spirit. I've literally, and I'm not joking when I say I filmed it so many times, I've probably filmed this video 6 times of like 30 minutes each, and I'm not saying that to like harp on that, but just I feel like that, you know, as I'm reading these cards, I'm like, wow, that really applies, because I literally have never had so many issues filming a video in my life, to the point where I was almost like, screw it, I'm not doing this. I'm not recording another, you know, however many hours of my life and just having it be thrown away, because there's always issues with the recording. But now that I'm getting these cards, it's like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. Because I literally was so mad at my guides and stuff. I was like, I am not doing these recordings if you're not gonna keep them. Like, what a waste of my time. But now it makes more sense. I just feel like I can feel your frustration, where you're like, we've had all these false starts and we've had all the, like, you feel like you're kind of doing the work, but it's not coalescing how you want it to, you know what I mean? And I feel like you're kind of wondering why like you have been doing everything right, and I'm getting that vibe. Like, it's not something where you're like completely out of whack, or your energy is completely out of whack, or you're like doing something wrong and you're being punished or something like that. But I just feel like you're not, I don't know. There's some kind of a change that's going to happen for you. There's some kind of a major change that you're like transformative thing. I feel like there might be a kind of oppressive energy in your life. It could be like a parent. It could be like a boss, or even a friend, or a partner too. But I'm really feeling like family member, or like a friend, boss kind of a thing, not as much romantic. But I feel like this person can sometimes take up a lot of your mental space and mental energy, where you're unable to focus on yourself and your life. Like, you have all this power and potential, like you are this high priestess, and yet you're not able to access that energy because you're so taken up your energy with dealing with this person. I just feel like this person requires a lot of your energy. So it's not that they're necessarily like evil. I'm getting more almost needy or just demanding, like kind of that this person is a little self-centered, and that they're the kind of person that would like call you at 7 p.m. on a Tuesday and ask you and expect you to drop everything, and you could be like, well, I'm heading out to dinner, and it's like, but I need you, I can't believe you broke up with me. I don't know what, I can't believe it. Do you have like an hour to talk? And they're like, not really, I have to leave. It's like, but this is an emergency. And you end up spending all this time with this person. Or it could be, if it's a parent, just, you know, one of those parents that you might not even realize it, but your life is kind of centered around them. It might be one of those dynamics where if you were fully in your power, because you have all this latent power, like you are this chick, which even if you don't know about tarot, you have to admit she looks pretty damn powerful, right? I mean, she is the high priestess, and if you know tarot, I don't even need to say anymore, but if you don't know tarot, you can just look at her and see how powerful she is. That's you, and you are ready with this power. You have this powerful energy, but you're not able to like reside in it. I'm hearing reside in it, like live in it, stay in it, because I feel like people would be threatened by you if you were able to actually be in your power. And I'm not trying to get super deep or trigger anyone, because Honestly, I'm getting a lot of like there's like trauma here, to be honest, and I don't even know if you fully addressed the trauma in this situation, because I feel like some of it is just buried. Like some of the time you are just like, that's just fine, I don't mind, giving this energy to this person. I'm a caretaker. Like these are things you might tell yourself, like, I'm a caretaker, I'm happy to pick up the phone when they need me, or like it makes me happy that that they trust me or something. It's like there's kind of a lot of justifications that I feel like you give, but this is not this, I mean, whatever you want to call it, this is not allowing you to reside in your power. This is taking your power from you. Power you have, because you are very powerful, is being directed towards this person. They're taking your energy that you could be using to work on your projects, and you're helping them figure out their life. You're doing it towards their projects. It's kind of like if you had a job, right? And you were at work, and you, instead of you doing your work, you had like a best friend working at a different company across town, and they would fax you over like the documents they need you to fill out, and you're filling out those instead of the documents you need for your job. You know what I mean? Who's gonna get fired? It's not gonna be the other person, it's gonna be you, because you can't do two things at once. I know you're so powerful that I think sometimes you think, oh, I'll just put my energy into both. It's fine. I'll figure it out, kind of a thing. But you can't, you have, we all have a limited amount of energy in this world. And yes, we can create more energy, generate more energy. And that's, some people especially are really powerful generators. I'm not, I can generate energy, but I also have learned that I need to conserve it to a certain extent. Like I used to be that person that would just run around doing whatever, doing anything that someone, asked of me. And then I realized that there wasn't as much left over for me. And it's not to say that you have to be, not helpful to people or whatever, but you have to be selective about making sure that you have the right energy for you. I also feel like I'm getting that you are because you are powerful, because you are high priestess energy, you have psychic gifts and stuff. And people like that can really benefit this world, empathic people, kind people, people that feel others' energy, people who have those psychic gifts that kind of connect them to other realms. Those people can really benefit others, because it's a tough world we live in. A lot of people are in a lot of pain, right? And you giving all your energy away to these other things, it may seem kind to you, but you don't have energy to give to the bigger projects that could help way more people. Like I'm thinking of, there's like musicians that put out art that is like super uplifting, like positive type of music that makes people in a really good mood and gives people kind of guidance about how to live their life, then there's like musical artists that put out like really kind of dark music, or like stuff that's not necessarily as uplifting, but I'm feeling like that could be you, you know what I mean? Like your psychic gifts, I feel like you don't value them as much. You're kind of like, oh, well, whatever, everyone has these abilities, everyone has their own thing, and everyone does have abilities to a certain extent, but you have so much power in you, and I feel like you're spending a lot of it helping this person or giving to, could be multiple people, but I kind of feel like it's like there's one relationship in your life that's an unfair power dynamic where someone is doing the taking and you're doing all the giving, and it's not balanced at all. And instead of you being able to live in your power and be helping others, you're focused on this one person. And imagine if you can think of one of the artists that like really reaches so many people, like, and helps so many people and inspires people. Imagine like, I talked about her in last reading, and maybe she came up in your reading last time. I have filmed so many videos about this about your situation that I don't even know, but I know Taylor Swift for some reason. I think I mentioned her in the past, either in pile 1 or you guys pile 2 in the many videos I filmed. But I don't know, she keeps coming to mind. I feel like I seem like an obsessed Taylor Swift like fan who's should have a restraining order at this point with how many times I've mentioned her doing these readings, but they keep being deleted. And anyway, so just so you know, I feel like imagine if Taylor Swift was like, you know what, I'm giving up music and I'm just going to help out this one person. Like, I'm just going to help out this one person named Judy that I really like. So sorry, everyone. No more albums. No more, poetry. No more songs. No more videos. I'm just going to help out Judy. I really like Judy, and I'm just going to give all my energy and attention to her. I mean, whatever you think about Taylor Swift, and it's fine if anyone has different opinions, but I just feel like, her music is very uplifting to her fans. It tends to be positive music, like romantic, and kind of in terms of like some of the other songs that are out, I feel like Taylor Swift's music can be kind of higher vibrational because it's at least talking about love and those kinds of things. It's not like, talking about guns or whatever else, or violence or something. So imagine if instead of doing that, she just was like, screw all my fans, I'm just gonna help Judy out. And all the millions of her fans across the world that maybe you're having a horrible time, during coronavirus or whatever, are suddenly unable to ever look forward to another album or have a song that they really love or cry along to her music or whatever. The world would be probably a way worse place for those fans, And my point is that sometimes when you have these gifts, it's like a responsibility. It's a gift, but it's also a responsibility. So it's kind of like it's not even just about you. Even if you want to be selfless and say like, I don't really, I don't really care what happens to me. I don't care if I stagnate while this person, I give them my energy. It's like, yeah, but you might be hurting other people because you could be, with your gifts and your power, you could really be helping people. I think this is why community is reversed. You're supposed to be helping people in a major way, and yet you're not able to. You're just funneling it towards this one person, and this person isn't even appreciating it. This person is just kind of taking. It says exchanging gifts, but I feel like you're just giving, and this person is taking, and it's just a one-sided gift exchange, if you could even call it a gift exchange. I don't even know what it is. It's just one person giving, and so like, even if you want to be selfless and be like, I don't really care, I'm fine giving all my energy away, I will say also that there is karma attached to not using your gifts in this lifetime. I know it sucks, and sometimes, spirit or the universe can be kind of harsh, and you're like, why am I being punished for this? I didn't do anything bad, but you did. If spirit gave you gifts, it wasn't just randomly like, oh, sorry, I put a little too much in here, like you're cooking and you accidentally confuse like the cumin and the cinnamon or something, and you're like, oh my god, I put cinnamon in my French toast, or I put cumin in my French toast, or I put cinnamon in my like tacos. That's not what spirit does, okay? So if they gave you the gift, it wasn't just a whoopsie oops moment. So they gave you it for a reason. You're supposed to be spending it helping people, but you're not. And it's blocked, and it's distorted. And so this relationship, it also, by the way, I missed one of the cards. It could be romantic for some of you because there is a romantic card in here. So just saying that. If the person that's coming to mind is romantic, please definitely listen to that. Whoever is in your mind as this person, that's who spirit is talking about. But I feel like you just think it's kind of like no big deal. You don't, I feel like sometimes you might even be like, well, what gift is it in particular? But you're so distorted away from your gifts and from your psychic abilities that you're not even, I feel like sometimes they're not even sending you messages because they're like, she's not gonna listen. It really doesn't matter. Why would we tell her stuff that she's just gonna ignore, And maybe that seems harsh, but I just feel like you aren't listening, and they're right. Like, spirit has to sometimes go to a lot of lengths to get us messages. Yes, like, spirit is all powerful, but when we ask for messages from our guides and stuff, like, guides and ancestors, they have to, like, do weird stuff on earth to make those messages come through. They have to, like, randomly set someone in your path who's going to mention it, or, you know, they have to like have random, you know, a random moment where you're in the right time, in the right place, and then the message comes through like a random sign passing by on a car. It's like a lot of coordination. I mean, imagine how much stress sometimes it is to plan out going to like a restaurant to eat out with your friends, and you're like, okay, I can't eat, I don't know, they don't like Mexican, okay, she doesn't like Indian food, okay, so let's okay, so we could try there. Well, actually, I can't. Their food is too spicy for me, or whatever. And it's like this constant planning just to go out to eat. Now imagine they have to like set you up in the right time, the right place, everything lined up. It's like a lot. So why would they do that when you're not going to listen? Because I feel like you are not going to listen. You are not listening to them. A lot of your mental energy goes to this person. It's kind of, I feel like it's like a codependent relationship. This person might be like a narcissist a little bit. I'm not trying to be harsh, because I feel like many of you feel very plugged into this person, and trust me, I get it. But I just feel like this person is draining you of so much of your energy that, for me looking on the outside, I would say it's like a narcissist dynamic where one person is kind of taking and expecting the other person to just give. So yeah, your power right now is totally blocked. And I just feel like you just have no energy left over for actually manifesting and for moving into your moving into your gifts and moving into your power. And honestly, what comes to mind also is that you are going to be blocked from manifesting and from getting money right now, because spirit is not happy with the dynamic that you're in. Spirit is not going to reward you for putting up with this, because frankly, this relationship is not fair to you. It's not really okay. It's not good. I don't want to beat around the bush. You know, I'm very blunt. I have Mercury squaring my Pluto, so sometimes I feel like I can be overly harsh, and I'm trying not to be, but I just have to be honest that this relationship is not, it's not good, it's not fair, and it's really not cool. So, you know, we actually have, I hate to tell you, because I know it's probably not what you want to hear, but we have straight up the opposite karma card. It's reversed. Bad karma. You are going to be, you know, there is going to be penalties for you for tolerating this. And I know it sucks, because it's like, you're not the one who's doing the taking. Trust me, people who do the taking in relationships will get their karma too. But when you allow yourself to be treated badly or abused or whatever, there's punishment for that too, because God created you, God loves you, okay? Like I said, it's not an accident that you're here. And so it's like, he's still protective of you. So even if you're the one doing the hurting, he's still going to be mad. And I just feel like you need to treat yourself with more respect and come into more dignity. I have done this so many times in my life, so I fully get this dynamic and understand it. And I know how hard it is, especially if this is like a family member and you're ingrained in it and you grew up in this kind of dynamic. It's so hard to leave. It's so hard to unpack this, but this is something you really need to work through, because right now, I've got to be honest, you are never, I'll say it, and again, I'm sorry, because I have Mercury square my Pluto, so I can be very blunt and very harsh, and I'm really not trying to be, but I have to give you the warning that's coming to mind. You will never come into money or abundance or wealth as long as you're in this dynamic. I know that's really harsh, but that's what's going on. As long as you're in this dynamic where you are giving all your energy to this person, you will never, ever come into money. And it's because it's kind of cursing you. You're cursing yourself by being with this person, and they're treating you badly. You have so much power and so much of a gift and so much potential for wealth, for money, but you have to stop allowing whoever this person is to treat you like an afterthought, to giving all your energy to them. This might be even a dynamic with multiple people in your life. But you have to stop it. You have to learn to come into your own power, because right now they're giving me a lot of symbols that this just is blocked right now. And it's not to say, again, if you can kind of extricate yourself from this and stop tolerating this, trust me, you'll come into so much abundance and so much happiness. I mean, that's what they want for you. Like, you have these destiny psychic cards, and then they're all flipped, they're all reversed. So the point is that you have this unlimited potential. You have so much going for you. And I'm not saying that just to try to put a cherry on the top or make you happy. I'm very blunt, if you can't already tell. So I wouldn't tell you that if it was just, buttering you up. These are the cards that are showing up. It's like wealth, happiness, abundance, and then it's all flipped around. So you have that dynamic in your life waiting to come in, but it can't right now. And I think it's because of this weird dynamic with this other person. And frankly, I think this person is taking advantage of you. And this is something that you should work on actively ending and actively getting rid of, because it's just no bueno. So let me see, what other messages do we have for pile 2? Wait, okay. Okay, so we have a lot of cards about kind of taking some time, but then it also says take action. I feel like in a way you've been waiting and you've been kind of hoping things were going to change. And you're kind of like, well, maybe this will shift, maybe that, but I feel like you need to start shifting it. You need to be the one to start making those steps. And I feel like it is going to be a process. It's not going to, I'm not saying like throw this person out a window and completely, take them out of your life forever. Like, well, I mean, maybe, but I'm not, obviously this is something where a lot of these relationships, you're kind of tangled up in each other's lives. You have so much stuff that you share. You have a lot of, like interconnections. And I get that, this might be the kind of dynamic where it takes time to extricate yourself, or it takes time to change the dynamic, but it needs to be something that you work on doing and that you start taking steps towards. And also, I obviously get that sometimes if this is someone you like are in a family with, like it's a husband or a wife or whatever, that you might not be able to completely ever cast them out if you like share kids with them or something, obviously you're going to have to deal with those people probably for, at least until your children turn 18. But even in those cases, I feel like you just need to create boundaries for yourself where you are saying like, I can't drop everything on Tuesday at 7. I actually have something else going on. Creating those boundaries and learning to create, respecting yourself, really creating self-respect, so that the other person has to, like, even if they want to keep behaving that way, that's going to be so key for you. And then we got finally, the opportunity card. Like, there's so much abundance and wealth waiting to shower down on you like that. I mean, really waiting to just come on down and, it's like I'm seeing literally that thing from like Price is Right, I think, and he says like, come on down and spin the wheel. I feel like that's what Spirit wants to do for you, is just give you so many blessings and just you'll be so like thrilled and overjoyed at what Spirit has for you. But it's just this dynamic where you are currently blocking yourself to accommodate this person. I feel like this is the kind of dynamic. Yeah, well, I'm not surprised. So we got Jupiter, we got the 12th house, and we got Pisces. Pisces in the 12th house are both, the 12th house is like the Pisces house, and they're both ruled by Neptune, and this is so much the vibe I'm getting, because this is such a Pisces like vibe. It's actually so Pisces. It's funny. You might be a Pisces. Now I'm seeing so much Pisces, I'm like, it like literally fits Pisces to a T. I can't believe Pisces didn't come to mind earlier. But yeah, like Pisces is the psychic of the zodiac. It is ruled by Neptune, the psychic planet. It's also very selfless. It's very like serving of others. It's very kind of compassionate, and it's kind of the martyr of the zodiac. And it can do this to its own kind of self-destruction. And the 12th house is like, it can be kind of self-destructive tendencies. You see kind of drug addiction. It can be delusion, and it's also like psychic ability is in the 12th house and Pisces, but it can also be delusional stuff like misreading. I always see the 12th house as represented by like a really foggy kind of mystical day in like ancient England. And so it's like, it's this beautiful energy, but it's also like you can't always see through the fog. And I feel like right now you are more leaning on the, not to be harsh again, I'm sorry that I have such a harsh Mercury, but sometimes it can be a little delusional because you keep hoping that one day you're going to give enough to this person and they're going to be like, thank you so much, you're amazing. And they're going to give you that feedback that I know that you crave so much. And then we all want, we all want to feel loved, to feel appreciated, especially when we do so much for someone. But I have to tell you, you're never going to get it from this person. You're never going to get the feedback that you want from this person. It's never going to finally click into place. And then boom, okay, suddenly they're acting right. Like, please reflect on how many years you spent in this dynamic with this person and how it's never really changed. And then ask yourself if you think suddenly something is going to ring and click in this person's head and all of that dynamic is going to go away. Like, I have to tell you, it's not going to happen. And I know that may seem harsh now, but it's to save you from pain later. And then we also have Jupiter. Jupiter is the planet of wealth and abundance. And I feel like that is what wants to come in. It's like, please let me in. And listen, I love Pisces so much. I'm a Pisces, so I am not trying to rag on Pisces. And there can be so many evolved Pisces. Like, again, it's like, it is high priestess energy. It's like super psychic and with visions and stuff. But it can also be, letting those visions or letting that destiny be blocked because you're bending over backwards to help other people. And, that's not good because, God gave you those dreams and those visions and the gifts for a reason. So you rejecting them and being like, no, that's not actually what you're supposed to be doing. And you're supposed to be helping others with your gifts. You're supposed to be really helping the world. I feel like you could give so much to this world. You could inspire people. You could really make this world a better place. And also we got Never Ending Story, and that just came to mind. Like, I feel like this dynamic, this just popped up in my like vision of like, look at that card. With the Never Ending Story, I feel like this dynamic with this person has been going on so long. Like, I feel like this is not someone that just came into your life. Or if they did, it would feel like one of those relationships where you're like, oh, this is like a soul dynamic that I met this person before. But I feel like for the vast majority of you guys, this relationship, you've known this person for a long time. Like years or whatever. This person is not just someone new that you met 2 weeks ago. And this person is like, it's never changed, right? This is the same dynamic. It's always going to be those crises. Every time, I feel like I said at the beginning, I made that metaphor of like the call on Tuesday at 7 p.m. That's like, drop everything, my boyfriend broke up. But that's what it is every Tuesday. Like, obviously not literally, but that's what it is all the time. It's always a crisis. It's always I need help with this. And that person may be genuinely feeling that way. I'm not trying to make fun of them because obviously everyone goes through stressful periods. I've been through periods where it's like, when I was filming this video, I'm like, can I catch a break? I was so mad that I had filmed this video so many times and it kept being deleted. I was so frustrated. So I get it. So you know, and that's a video. People go through really difficult times where they're really dealing with so much. And it's not to make light of that, but I just feel like this is a pattern for this person where they come to you, you have to rescue them, and it's always something. So that's what you have to understand, is you keep waiting for this to kind of resolve itself, for this person to give you the gratefulness that you deserve, and you're never going to get it. So you get to choose now if you want to stay in this dynamic and keep going through this over and over and over and over, because this is how it's going to be. I have to tell you, this is how it's going to be. It's never going to click into place and suddenly everything's fine and suddenly they're super grateful and suddenly they're like, oh my God, you are an amazing friend and I'm so lucky to have you. That's just not ever going to happen. They are going to continue in this dynamic and this vibe. So if this is what you want to spend your life doing and you just kind of don't want to like move forward in your life, or your like your lifetime guide, because you know we all have like missions in this life, that can be your kind of choice. It wouldn't be what I would pick, and especially when I had all the money and the potential and the joy that you have waiting for you. Like, I feel like if you could just get yourself out of this dynamic, you could be a millionaire and you could be setting the world on fire and you could have these blessings just pouring in, like just so amazing. Not everyone has that potential. You know, sometimes people, the vibe you get is like, yeah, you can have a nice life. It's going to be okay. It's not really going to be amazing, but it's going to be good. You have like that amazing life waiting for you. And yet you keep in with this. This is actually, I think, a big test for you from Spirit. This is one of your life purposes that you came in this lifetime to learn, is to set boundaries with people and to value yourself. I know you value other people. You're the kind of person that's willing to bend over backwards for other people. Well, I'm not going to pat you on the back for that, because I know that sometimes we glorify that in our society, but really you have to learn also to love yourself, respect yourself, have your own dignity. It's not to say that you're callous and you're not helping everyone else and you're not willing to give to someone, you know, who needs help. But you have to honor yourself at the same time. Disrespecting yourself is not cool. It's not a virtue. It's a bad thing. So you have to learn to give yourself that respect and that dignity that you deserve. You so deserve it. And you need to learn to come into it. I feel like you never learned to love yourself as a child. That's what I'm hearing in my head. I feel like you never learned to put yourself first. In fact, I feel like you learned to downgrade yourself and to like put yourself in like I'm seeing like a kid like kind of hiding like their accomplishments, like hiding like something they drew that's like an amazing picture or something. It might not be that for you. You might be like, I could never draw anything that looks good. I'm a horrible artist, whatever. But if you're good at math, it's like hiding your report card or something. Like, I feel like you had to learn to hide a lot of your gifts to keep things cool in your like family. You didn't have, I feel like, a lot of that dynamic where it's like the parents that are like encouraging of the kids of like, you can do whatever you want, you're amazing, and wanting the kid to do their best. I feel like a lot of times you had to kind of dim your light so that others wouldn't be uncomfortable and others wouldn't feel kind of jealous or threatened by you. So, because I think a lot of people can feel the power you exude with your high priestess energy. People can feel that you are very powerful, and so it even when you were a kid, it kind of made people feel threatened. And so you learn to like dim it and to focus on everyone else and to not grow yourself. But you've gotten off track and you can get right back on. I don't think you're that far off. I feel like if you were to take the steps to start healing yourself and directing all your amazing, powerful energy towards yourself, you could heal yourself so fast. Maybe it would take a few months or even a few years, but compared to wasting another lifetime, focusing on these other people that really don't deserve your energy, I mean, that's like nothing, no amount of time. Like, that would be so worth it, you know? You could really heal yourself so quick if you just started on that path. I would say look up videos about like narcissism and stuff like that, but I just feel like for you, this is something that you really need to give some of your energy and focus and love to yourself. Learn to really love yourself, because that's the most important thing. We really can't give love to others until we love ourselves truly and honor and cherish ourselves. And that's something that you really need to do. And then I think once that happens, that's when you're going to see the money just pour in. You're going to be aligned with your life, and you're going to be like, I can't believe I ever tolerated the stuff I tolerated. Like, you're going to have, you know, money, but not just money. Like, you're gonna have amazing people around you and friendships and relationships, and everything is gonna just line up. I'm hearing major key from DJ Khaled. Like, this is gonna be the major key that's just gonna click and unlock everything, click into place, and just line everything up for you. So I just think this is something you need to do. Start working on yourself and come into the abundance that is there waiting for you. That's your birthright, you know, because I think once you fix yourself, you're going to really lean into that healing high priestess power and be able to share your gift in the world with the world. And that's when you're going to be rewarded with abundance. So, whoa, I wasn't expecting it to be so deep, and now I'm kind of understanding why this recording got deleted so many times, but I'm glad that we finally got this one, because I feel like it was like a therapy session. Like, damn, I need like a drink or something after that. But I hope that helped you guys. I really have so much empathy for you. I feel so much for this pile, and I feel so connected to you guys. So please let me know if it did resonate, because I would love to hear if this is something that connected with you. I'm sending so much love to all of you guys and healing. I know this is a difficult path, but you know, you're strong enough to walk it. Otherwise, you wouldn't have been assigned it. And so, yeah, I hope you take advantage of this pivotal moment, because you have so much amazing stuff waiting for you. So I hope that helped you guys. Please subscribe if you want to see more videos. I post every few days, and like it if it did resonate. So sending so much love to you guys. Take care. Bye. Hey Pile 3, so we are back for your reading. So let's get into it. You guys have the purple with, I think those are dragon fruit slices on the top, but yeah, it looks really good. So let's get into your reading. I'm going to live shuffle because I like that rhythm, and then you guys can find out at the same time as I do, because sometimes people think that we like pre-pull cards, I guess, so that, you know, it's like an easier reading, but I don't know why anyone would do that. But anyway, so let's pull some cards and see what is holding Pile 3 back from abundance. What is holding Pile 3 back from abundance? What is holding Pile 3 back from abundance? Okay, we got the devil. The devil reversed. One time at a card, please, Spirit. What is the last card that we want? Can we get one more clarification? What is holding? Okay. Interesting. So I feel like there's been a lot of ideas that you've had that have entered your mind of like, maybe it could be this, maybe it could be that, for you being on your path towards abundance, like you wanting to achieve certain things. You have these really great ideas in your head of like, I could try this, I could try that, but then I'm not seeing necessarily that going into like fruition and that actually like panning out. Let me check this is recording, because I recorded these. The last video I recorded like 6 times and it didn't get recorded for Pile 2, but hopefully you guys have a little bit better mojo than Pile 2, because they had a lot of stuff they were dealing with. But for you, I feel like there's ideas that you have in your head of, you know, things that could things that you might be able to try, but it's like there's kind of not necessarily that action that we like to see when someone is, you know, actually kind of going to work. Like, I feel like sometimes you can be a little bit head in the clouds. You can be a little bit someone that is like thinking about it and you have these great ideas but not putting it into actually action. You know, so much of doing the work is actually doing the work. I know that sounds obvious, but it took me a long time to figure out that just me manifesting and doing other stuff to manifest wasn't actually sometimes enough as me putting in the work. And it's kind of like the dirty work. Like, I'm seeing someone like kind of like caked in mud, like overalls or something. Someone that's doing like manual labor. I feel like they want you to get kind of down and dirty. Like, they want you, not in a nasty way, not in like a, we want you to do something that's like degrading or horrible just for the sake of it. But it's more along the lines of like, they really want to kind of see you sweat a little bit. They want you to put in the work and actually like get your hands dirty, kind of a vibe, you know? I feel like, again, you have so many great ideas and your mind is so fruitful with coming up with these different ideas. You have like such a potent like imagination and you have kind of that side of it really well covered. But then I feel like where the manifestation gets blocked is when it's time to like get down and do it. You sometimes don't, you know? And I'm thinking again of, I have had so many issues filming this video, not to like constantly tell everyone about it because I know people don't care that much about like my process or whatever, but I think that it comes up with this video because like the point is I had my video erased 6 different times. That's 6 30-minute videos that I filmed that just vanished, and I was so frustrated. At the end I was like telling my spirit guides, like, I'm not doing this if you guys aren't gonna save the videos. I was so annoyed, like, because it just kept happening. But it's like, that's the kind of thing that kind of sometimes happens when you're working on something. And what do you have to do? I mean, I could go cry about it, and I did for a little bit, to be honest, and I had like some wine and calmed down because I was like so annoyed and also PMSing. But ultimately, like, I have to go refilm the video because no one else is going to do it for me. No one else is going to make it. It's so frustrating, but that's like part of life, is like keeping going, you know what I mean? And getting knocked down and getting back up and kind of a thing. And I feel like sometimes too, those things can be tests to see if we're really willing to do it all and really willing to put in the work. I feel like you sometimes don't want to like actually do the work, or maybe you are like the kind of person that's willing to do the work, but then it just like, it hasn't happened somehow, you know? Maybe there's extenuating circumstances or something, but I feel like what they're telling me is they need you to, like this one says, chop wood. Like, they need you to just do the work. It's kind of like as simple as that, you know? We also got round and round, and I feel like that's kind of the cycle of like having an idea, trying to manifest it, trying to move forward with it, but then not actually like digging in and withstanding some of the blowback. Like, I feel like, you know, yesterday, because I've been trying to film that video for like a week, and I was like, I don't know if this video is cursed. I don't know what the deal is, but I feel that, you know, I could have easily kind of given up, and that's part of it. Is sometimes it's almost like a test or something that they're just gonna put these obstacles in your way to see, like, are you gonna give up? Are you not? And half of it is just showing up. It doesn't have to be perfect. I feel like sometimes you might be a bit of a perfectionist who, it's like, if it's not completely perfect, you don't want to do it. You're kind of like, throw it out, whatever, I'm not going to show this. And you might not realize how good you are, how talented you are. I feel like there's also like this kind of exhaustion right now. Like, you're just kind of feeling tired and a little bit defeated, a little bit overwhelmed. So for some of you, it might actually be that you have been putting in the work and that you have been working hard, but it's just that you need to keep going. I feel that there's some in this reading that, like, if you were like, well, wait, this isn't fair, I have been working hard. I can see that for some of you. And in that case, it's like they just want you to keep going. They just want you to you know, keep trekking on. I know it's difficult. I mean, truly, not to harp on it, but yesterday I was just like, I'm just done. I can't do this. I can't keep filming and have it being erased. I don't even know why it was erased 6 separate times. But, you know, that's just sometimes how it goes down. And then it's like, well, what are you going to do after? Pick yourself up and drop yourself off, or just kind of give in to defeat. And I feel like the song that's coming to mind is Get Up 10 by Cardi B, which is like, I love that song so much. If you haven't heard that song, I would definitely recommend people go look it up, because I feel like that should be the vibe for this group, is Get Up 10, you know, just. And the lyric that she's saying is, knock me down 9 times, but I get up 10. So it's like, exactly, knock me down however many times, but what matters is, do you keep going? No matter how many defeats you suffer, you just have to keep going with that one more time, you know? And that can be your path to success. And she has a lot of great lyrics in that song, basically about people coming against her, and like, I'm not afraid of you, I'm gonna keep going, kind of a vibe. And I just feel like that's the energy that we need here, because I think you do have these great ideas that I'm seeing, and these great like fresh starts that are happening, but then it's just, I feel like when it comes to like going after it and like getting after it and getting down and dirty in the mud, that's like the missing piece. It's funny because you do have this, I feel like you're good with money. I feel like you have this energy of like almost success like already around you. It's almost like you're too in the success energy, and you need to like rewind a little and go back to the like time to get down and dirty and fight, like down in the mud. I'm literally seeing people like mud wrestling, which I'm not recommending that. I'm not saying make your money that way. I don't even know how you would, but I feel like, yeah, you are in this like almost, you have so many great aspects of your energy that are aligned really well with wealth, but sometimes it's like we need to get down and like scrap, you know what I mean? And do the difficult stuff. Like, I feel like you're the kind of person sometimes that maybe has like these amazing ideas, and you could write like the most beautiful document or something, or whatever you're trying to do. You could make the most beautiful like hand knitted sweater, or whatever project you're working on, or you're really good at your job, but like your room is really messy. It might not be that, but it's like something like that, you know, where it's like it's a lower level task, or that's how like society would judge that, as like, oh, that's not really as important as, you know, being a super intelligent writer or something. But really, that's like the missing piece, is like the willingness to get down and do the really hard work, like the kind of manual labor type of stuff. And it doesn't have to be manual labor, but just that part of the process that is like difficult and kind of laborious and just kind of like exhausting, almost like strenuous, and you know, maybe there's not an immediate reward for it. Like when you write, for me personally, I'm the kind of person where if I write something really beautiful, or I do something really good intellectually, I'm like thrilled, you know. But if I clean my room or cook a really good meal, I'm not like as excited. I'm like, okay, whatever, anyone could do that, you know. But it's kind of like that part, the part that you might like overlook, or be like, well, I mean, who cares? That's just kind of mindless work. That's the important missing factor here, where I just feel like there's this aspect that you need to like get after it. You need to kind of get your fire back in that sense a little bit. I feel like you are good sometimes with like the more regimented stuff, but it's like you just need to get like full energy and be willing to get down and like wrestle in the mud kind of a vibe, you know? So let me pull some more cards and see what is holding you back from abundance. What is holding pile 3 back from abundance? So I feel like right now it's hard for the change to come in because of this. And I feel like there's also temptation for you to like stop. Like I feel like there might be like forces coming against you that are trying to almost make things easier for you, like get distracted by like the easy life. What is holding pile 3 back from abundance? What is holding pile 3 back from abundance? I feel like sometimes maybe like with you, things come in that seem like a blessing. Like it's like your friend texting you like, hey, let's go on this vacation, or let's go out to this restaurant. And you're like, oh, I was supposed to kind of work on XYZ project today. But then you're like, okay, that sounds really fun though. Okay, I'm gonna do it. And it's almost like, even though that seems like a blessing, it's actually not, because those things, as fun as they may be, they're not actually like allowing you to you're supposed to be not miserable. I don't want spirit to think you're supposed to be, you think spirit wants that for you, but like you're supposed to be kind of, I feel like, almost standing alone a little bit. I feel like you're supposed to be really working on yourself and getting into your own energy of what you want. And also like I said, this is supposed to be like a hard work period for you. I feel like you're supposed to be almost a little bit alone, like hermit energy. We did get the hermit reverse, and then we also got solitude. So I feel like for you, and we also got orphaned. I feel like in a way they're calling you to spend a little bit more time on your own, and maybe you're resisting it. Or I feel like sometimes things pop up that are like would be fun, or are kind of a temporary relief from the work, and you always take the bait. It's kind of like a distraction, and you're always going for it. Because I think at the end of the day, like, you don't want to be the type to like fully get your hands dirty, and I totally get it. I feel the same way. You might have been some kind of a royalty in a past life, or some kind of like nobility or noble class. So it's like, you're like, excuse me, like sweating? No, I don't do that. And it's not your fault. I totally get it. It's almost like in a way you evolved past that stage, you know, but spirit is saying like, no, we got to rewind to learn that again. Like I have second house north node, and for me, one of my life goals that I have to figure out and be really good at is like dealing with money. And as a Pisces, I hate dealing with money. I find it super boring. I think it's so like kind of, as far as like a life purpose goes, I'm like, my life purpose is making money? Like, come on. I feel much more comfortable with like spiritual stuff. I'd much rather have someone be like, your life purpose is to heal or to give guidance. And I feel like that's kind of the thing with you. Like, the thing is that spirit wants us to be balanced, and wants us to be and wants us to have every aspect of our life like aligned correctly. And I feel like in a way you've almost advanced too much, and you forgot how to do like the everyday stuff, you know, of just like the difficult work. I feel like something that comes to mind is like a billionaire that doesn't know what the cost of eggs is, or doesn't know how to clean a room, or make a bed, or doesn't, that kind of a thing. Or like a princess that has no idea how to even cook a single egg, you know, if her life depended on it, like wouldn't even know where eggs come from, or they just knows how they get served on her plate, you know, kind of a vibe. And I'm not saying you're in that position, but I just feel like you need to, whatever you're trying to manifest financially, they want to see you like doing the down and dirty kind of work, you know. I know I keep saying that, but it's just because it's hard to find the exact term, because I feel like it manifests for different people. For some, this is like, you gotta clean your room, you gotta, you know, maybe start like a workout regimen, just because I think workout regimens are really good for mental health, and doing that kind of physical activity can bring you back down into your body and remind you of all that stuff. It can be really good for that kind of earthy energy. And then for others, it's more along the lines of like you have difficult projects that you put off doing. Like I said, you're okay with like writing the higher end stuff, but if someone asked you to do, you know, some basic math, you hate that, or someone asked you to lift some heavy objects, you can't do that. It's just like, I feel like for people it's different. It manifests differently because this is a general reading, but it's kind of like the boring, like not as fun part of the projects. It's just that staying power. It's that I'm gonna keep trudging on and keep doing this, kind of like Taurus or Capricorn earth energy of I'm just gonna keep going and keep going. And that's why Mars is exalted in Capricorn, which is the mountain goat. And if you look at the mountain goat, you know, it's pretty slow, and you would think, why is Mars, which is like speed and like determination and fire, why is that exalted in like a mountain goat? And it's because even though the mountain goat is slow, it kind of slowly picks its way up the mountain, piece by piece, step by step, takes its time, it's smart about it, and then it reaches the top every single time. And you know, some of those faster animals may burn out really early. You know, that's why Aries is not the exaltation of Mars, is because it's too quick of a burnout. I just feel like for you, you kind of have more of that, like you're enthusiastic about something, you get excited about it, you're like, okay, let's go. And then it's like when someone's like, oh, and you need to file these kinds of taxes for this business. Or, oh, did you research this? Or, oh, you're gonna have to buy, you know, this kind of a thing, get it from Home Depot, and it needs this kind of like piping or something that's kind of complicated and not the most fun thing to deal with. That's when you're like, I'm out, and you kind of discard it, you know? And so that's why I kept bringing up, like, I had to film this video 6 times, is just because it's like, those things happen that, you know, are really unpleasant. You just have to keep going, and that's what it is, you know? And sometimes I think those things are tests to see, like, are you gonna tap out or are you gonna keep going, you know? Because once you've started on something, I feel like Spirit wants to make sure that you're serious about it. So almost everyone that has success has something like bad come into them at first, difficulties that they have to face at first. And then once you prove that you can work past that, that's when you start to see the blessings actually arrive. But I'm hearing in my mind like blind faith from that Taylor Swift song, and it's almost like you need a little blind faith, you need a little keep going and persevering and just, you know, just getting that grit, kind of like that just determination that I'm gonna keep doing this, and I don't care if it's difficult, if it's tough, I don't care if I have to wake up at 6 a.m. and I'm tired, or I don't care if I have to stay up late until like 12 a.m. working. Obviously sleep is important, so I'm not saying skip out on sleep, but you know, sometimes you've got to do those kind of crazy hours, or you've got to you know, change your diet up so that it's healthier and you don't get to have like wine and cheese night with your friends or something, you know what I mean? Sometimes it's about, okay, I've got to do the work. This is not the fun time. This is like the planting the seeds time. It's like that story of like, what is it? The ant and the grasshopper or something? I don't know. There's some, or like the squirrel and the something, I don't know. But basically the point is that you're going to be working hard, like that creature, that animal that works really hard in the summertime, like collecting nuts or seeds or food or whatever, is the one that's going to be really good in the winter time, you know? And the animal that's having so much fun in the summertime, just chilling, is going to be the one freezing in the wintertime. And I feel like sometimes you're ready to do the work, but then something fun comes up, or someone is like, how about this? Or you just you're just like, this sucks, I'm going to go online and like hang out on Instagram or something, and then you lose your momentum, and you need to just be steadily working through that, like working through all the times when you're, you know, bored, or when it's unpleasant, or when you'd rather be doing something else, or when your friends are texting you like, hey, please come out with us. It's like, no, I can't, I have to focus on this, you know? What is holding pile 3 back from achieving abundance? Okay, that was overturned, and I feel like we're supposed to use that. So I feel like part of it too from these cards that's coming through, and it just kind of entered my head, is that I feel like that's where sometimes like doubt comes in. Like maybe sometimes when you get a setback or when something doesn't work out, you start to doubt it and you start to think like, I don't know if this is for me. I don't know if I'd be good at this. Maybe this is a sign that I'm not supposed to do this. Maybe this is a sign that this isn't gonna succeed and this isn't gonna be what I want it to be. And so you kind of get like a little bit down in the dumps almost, or you're just like, okay, so it's not for me. I'm not supposed to be like working so hard on this. And the thing that I feel is like, this is a, you know, those things are temporary setbacks. You need to have an element of, I'm just going to commit to this and I'm going to keep going no matter what happens. So like, you just have to kind of resolve and make that decision that you're not going to be held back from it, and you're not going to let people distract you from it. Like, you just have to come in there with that kind of dedication and determination. I just feel like something that happens a lot regarding this is like distraction and kind of being almost like lured away. Because I do feel like there are, you know, because there's like different forces in this universe. There's the good positive forces, but there's also like negative forces that want to kind of hold you back from your destiny. And I feel like sometimes those negative forces will be the ones that bring out like, hey, you know, why don't you, like your friend texting you. And that friend, I'm not saying is the negative force, but it's like they might have gotten that opportunity from a negative force that's trying to hold you back from your destiny. You know, you might get a random text from a friend and you're like, I don't know if I can afford to go on that weekend trip, but you know, that would be so fun. I haven't gone out. Okay, I'm gonna do it. But that's like taking you so much time away from the work you should be doing, kind of a thing. And I just feel like for you, there's this element of like you getting in your head a little bit and doubting what's going on and feeling very like, I don't know, I'm not sure, should I do it, should I not, maybe this is stupid, maybe I'm wasting my time. And that's where the momentum you had going kind of falls apart and just leaves. And then, you know, that's where I feel like sometimes you may be prone to being like texting your friend and being like, let's go out tonight, or just spending time like on the internet, or just not leaning into your focus. Oh my god, as I said that, I was just randomly going through these cards and we got focus and patience. Oh my god, and diligence, which also flew out. So it's like, exactly, that's what they want from you, is just focus, diligence, and patience. Some of you might have ADHD. I have ADHD, and this energy just seems like that, totally. Like, I feel that this is someone that does get easily distracted and is just trying to manifest stuff, but then when it comes down to it, you know, we just got time for a nap. I feel like, yeah, sometimes maybe you're like, I'm tired, I can't do this, but you just got to keep going, you know? And it is also really important to listen to your health. We've gotten a lot of cards about exhaustion or feeling tired, and some of that might be like totally genuine, in which case it's really important to listen to your body and to make sure you're getting enough sleep, because sleep is really like the foundation for health. So if you are someone that has been missing out on sleep lately, please make sure to try everything you can to get, you know, those 8 hours, or catch up and get 10 hours if you can, you know. So I'm not saying that you should lean away from that, but I think for others, sometimes that's just like indicative of like, sometimes it's like the first resistance, the first like kind of sleepless night, or where you're tired, you're like, oh, okay, I can't do this, I can't, you know. And it's just like, you just got to power through, you just got to keep going, because we got unfinished symphony. Like, you have so much to show the world, you have so much that you could be manifesting, you have so much that I think wants to come your way, and like some project that really could be so wonderful and really so transformative. But I feel like you have like, you just kind of sometimes drop the ball, or you doubt it, or you give in to like, I'd rather be doing this instead. Like, if you asked me if I would rather, you know, film 6 tarot readings and have them all be deleted, or just go chill with a bottle of wine and like be, you know, spending that time drinking it with my friends, I would definitely go with my friends, you know. But it's like, you've got to do what's going to benefit you long term, and you've got to have some kind of determination of like, I said I would do it, I'm going to do it. And that's where I feel like the magic kind of happens, is even when we keep persisting, even in those moments where we don't want to. And I just heard that phrase in my mind, and I think it's a political comment, but I'm not making any kind of political statement in any direction. But that comment comes to mind, that's like, and still she persisted. I just feel like you just need to keep going. You just need to make sure that you're giving it your all, even when it comes up against you. Can we get some astrological dice about what is holding pile 3 back from abundance? Okay, so we got Uranus, the 5th house, and Cancer. So yeah, Cancer is all about kind of the like home a little bit. And I mean, Cancers are like, by the way, the best cooks in my opinion in the zodiac. If you have an opportunity, I mean, Cancer and Taurus. One of my best friends is a Cancer with a Taurus moon, and his food is like the best. Every genre of food, it's always so comforting and like also kind of healthy, but like it tastes so rich. And every time you have an opportunity to have him cook for you, it's like a dream. So like Cancer to me represents so much of that, like kind of like the good food, the, you know, Cancers go into their shell too. They have that really soft, sweet interior, and then they have a hard shell. And the thing about crabs, if you've ever like cooked crabs or dealt with crabs, is they can be really skittish. And if you just like are, you know, kind of walking near one, they'll like go into their shell. And I feel like sometimes that's what happens, is like things get tough, and instead of you staying out there and fighting, you're like, let me pop into my little shell with all my kind of little luxuries and go into like something that's a lot easier to handle. So sometimes that is, like I said, good food, or, you know, alcohol, because we did have a card, you know, indicating alcohol or drug issues, but I don't think that's the case for everyone. I just think we all, if we're of legal drinking age, can have a tendency to be like, dude, I had the hardest day, I'm gonna have some vodka tonight. And that's, I think, totally fine and healthy as long as it's in moderation. But I feel like sometimes when we're under stress, we can all have that tendency to maybe drink a little bit more, or have that be the go-to emotional response, where it's like, you could put in an extra hour of work, but you're like, you know, screw it, I'm gonna go, you know, have a bottle of Prosecco, or not a bottle, but like a glass of Prosecco, or maybe split a bottle with someone, or if it's a really hard day, I don't know, maybe have a bottle, I don't know. But, and I think, like I said, it's okay to do that. I'm not saying like that this card is drinking too much, because I feel like that could be the case for some people, but I feel like this is a general kind of behavioral issue of just leaning into things that are easier to deal with. So it's totally okay to have that night when you're like, screw it, I'm having some wine. Like that's what I did yesterday after filming 6 videos. I was like, I need a little red wine. That's like, I need some Pinot Noir. So I had some, and I think that's okay, you know, once in a while. But it's like, if that's your go-to, like it happens once and you're automatically going to the I need a break, that's where the problem lies. And like I said, it doesn't have to be alcohol, it could be anything. It could be, you know, food, or just going online, but it's just kind of taking yourself out of the moment of that grit and moving into kind of like more of the like comforting mode. And that's really what Cancer is to me. It's so comforting. It's also the moon and the mother, so it's kind of like mothering yourself. But while that's positive to mother yourself to a certain extent, it can be dysfunctional if we do it too much, because, you know, it's okay to treat yourself once in a while. It's okay to do self-care, but then we can have that self-care that's like way self-indulgent, where it's like you're doing a face mask in the bathtub with your glass of, you know, Pinot Grigio, and you're watching like YouTube in the bath or whatever. And it's okay to do that after you got all your work done, right? It's okay. It's good. It's a good thing to be taking care of yourself. It's really not okay to be doing that at like 9 in the morning and you haven't done any work that day, and you're not going to do any work because you already, started getting smashed at like 9 a.m. and that kind of a thing. Like, it's okay to do it once we've worked hard and we need that reward, or we want to have a little bit of a break. But it's not really okay to leave it in the heat of the moment, in the thick of the battle, and just like constantly be just taking it way too easy on ourselves, So we also got the 5th house. Ew, I just lisped, sorry. I can't believe I said ew to my lisp. But I had a lisp as a kid, but I thought I had mostly gotten rid of it, but once in a while it kind of pops out. But so we got the 5th house, which is Leo. And so Leo is all about, it's kind of like all about the self a little bit. It's also a fire sign. It's kind of like showing your talents to the world. And also, though, it can also have that same energy of being all about kind of the luxury aspect, or like trying to, like have the best clothes and the best everything. And I feel like some of this is like that, but that's a good thing. But it's just that all of this stuff needs to be in moderation. We need to like moderate it with working hard and being willing to get like that dirt under our fingernails and break a sweat and, actually get the work done. I feel like what's coming to mind is someone that's like, I worked out for like an hour and all they did was sit in the gym texting, or they, were in the gym and they did like a couple jumping jacks every few minutes, and then they'd sit down and be like, oh, my body needs to rest between sets. And then, we all, if you go work out at the gym, I have seen so many times where I'm like, is this person even, I had a guy who was like using a running machine next to me, and he would apparently do this because other girls mentioned it to me at like my little apartment gym, where he would go on the running machine, turn the running machine on like, like a fast speed. It's like a full running speed. And then he would like 6 miles an hour or something. And then he would stand on either side. So like not on the actual treadmill, but on the side. So he would be able to be standing while the machine was on. And he would text on his phone and swipe through Tinder. And he would do it in the middle of like all the girls who were on the running machine. And we were just like, it was so annoying. And it was like weird because he'd do it for not a few minutes. He would do that for a half hour, 45 minutes, an hour. And he would just be standing there on his phone, literally not doing anything else, just swiping. And I think he was trying to talk to some of the girls, because he kind of tried to talk to us a few times and everyone was like, no thanks. But I don't know. That's just what came to mind, is like, I'm not saying you're lazy like that, but it's kind of like if you check in with yourself, you might be, because every few minutes he'd like run a little bit and then he'd like pause and go back and do, I don't know what the heck he was doing, because his rest times were like 20 minutes each. And so he was not getting the workout. I feel like afterwards he would tell people, I ran for like 20 miles. It showed it on my machine. And meanwhile, he must have run tops a mile. And so I'm not saying you're like doing that like extent, but I feel like sometimes with ourselves, we can be like, I did work, I have been working, but there's more we can put in. There's more, gas in the tank that we left not used. It's like that expression, like leave it all on the field. Like a lot of athletes feel that way, where they want to be exhausted when they get off the field so that they know they gave it everything they had. They have nothing left. That's it. It was all there. I did everything I could. And I feel like sometimes you have more in you that you could be giving, but then you're like, no, it's time for me to take a break, or like it's really not that important, or whatever. And that's where the manifesting is sometimes falling apart, is just being a little too comfortable and not making sure that every bit you have, you've given. And like, I'm not saying exhaust yourself, but I just feel like you're gonna start seeing results once you're in that discomfort, uncomfortable place. I think that's where like the magic happens, is once we start feeling like, oh, I don't know if I can do this, that's where actually things really start moving forward. It's when we're too comfortable and when we're like, oh, well, yeah, this isn't really that difficult for me, nothing is going to change, you know? That's where, like, when you're working out, you have to feel that burn in your muscles to know that, you know, you're actually building. That's where, like, the muscle building happens, is when you start feeling that burn. It doesn't happen when you're just doing like random curls with like a 1 pound like barbell and you know, you're not breaking a sweat and nothing's happening. That growth doesn't happen there. So I feel like you need to be a little bit more okay with being in the uncomfortable stage and sometimes not distracting yourself or not letting yourself get distracted, because I just feel like you do have people that kind of pull you out of it at times and will like invite you to go to other places or just take your mind off it. And it's just going to keep happening in the same energy until you are willing to work through it and just persevere and, you know, take that discomfort and the difficult times. That's when everything is going to start really flowing and really moving forward in your life. Because I do feel like you have this positive momentum, you have this potential, you have this like energy that is flowing in you. And the problem is that once it starts really getting going, is a lot of times when you like tap out and you're like, oh, I don't like this, and then, you know, the energy's gone because you distracted yourself or you went off and, you know, did something else instead of staying focused. And if you could just learn to stay focused and move through the discomfort, I think everything would start really moving for you and really taking place a lot faster. And then I think you'd be like, wow, why didn't I do this earlier? It's really not even that bad, you know? And I think you are like a hardworking, efficient person. So I actually feel like you'd really like being in that flow of having, you know, a business take off or having a job where you're really plugged in. I feel like you would be so satisfied and you would feel like, and it would just really be so much more fulfilling to you than like distracting yourself by going on Twitter or, you know, distracting yourself by hanging out with a friend or playing video games or XYZ, fill in the blank, or just like reading a book, even something innocent like that. But it's not like actually moving your energy with this forward. And I think that once you get the energy going, it's going to be like a load off your mind, and then you're not going to be also as stressed or as worried, and you're just going to really be happier overall. Even though it may seem like, if I work that hard, I'm going to be miserable. It's like, no, you're not. You're actually going to be so happy. You're probably going to have so much more energy too. I feel like if you also like had a schedule kind of, and like had a routine of like point A, point B, point C, that's where you would be like flourishing and you would feel so happy. You would look like one of those Instagram models that you see that like wakes up at 7 a.m. and drinks a green juice and goes to the gym and they're always smiling, and you're like, how can you be so happy when you're like, I don't know, it seems kind of like a difficult, like, I don't know, a difficult life, like having to wake up that early every day and drink that stuff, but they always look happy. And I feel like that would be you, because you'd feel so efficient and so like jazzed about it that that people would be like, why are they so happy working? But once you get into that energy, you're gonna be like in your happiest version of yourself. So I hope that helped and resonated, guys. Totally understand the ADHD thing. I'm ADHD, so no judgment here. Definitely done this thing a million times myself, but we can all benefit from just learning to work harder and taking steps to, you know, increase our focus and our determination. And I do think that success really wants to come in here. It's just, you know, a matter of kind of getting down into the nitty-gritty and just staying with it. So I hope that helped you guys. If it resonated, please leave a comment and let me know, and make sure to like. I do post these videos every few days, so if you want to see more, please subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care. Bye. Hey Pile 4, so this is your reading. You guys have the cute orange cake with, or is it mango? I don't know, with little kiwi slices. So let's get into your reading. about what is holding you back from prosperity and abundance. We're gonna do a live shuffle because a lot of people think we like do these beforehand for whatever reason. I don't know why. But yeah. So what is going on with pile 4 and what is holding them back from abundance? What is holding pile 4 back from abundance? What is holding pile 4 back from abundance? The orange cake. What is holding them back from abundance? So I feel like I hate it when it does this because I'm like asking about work, but I feel like they're bringing up a love relationship, so I have to read what the cards are saying. I feel like I don't know why they're bringing up this relationship. It could be that this relationship is holding you back from love, like there's something in the dynamic that is holding you back. I don't know for sure. Let me get some other cards to try to see if that's the case, or they're just saying what's going on in your life. What is holding pile 4 back from manifesting? Okay. Okay, so we got Loyal Heart, which is like a love card. Could be that you're too loyal to the wrong person, or that you're spending too much time thinking about this person. Observer reversed. It could be that you're not noticing certain things that this person is doing, or this person is just spending a lot of time on your mind. Not for you, okay? I feel like in a way, maybe this relationship that you've been in has blocked you from spending time focusing on your life. And as I said that, we got new life and clean it up. It could be that, you know, this relationship has caused you a lot of heartbreak and you were thinking that things were going to go a different way than it did go. We also got by the book reversed, so that makes me think that maybe that was kind of the vibe, is like, I feel like there was an expectation on your part of like a permanent connection, like a marriage or something, or a long-term relationship, and you were kind of expecting that. I feel like you were kind of dreaming of that, like what would the wedding be like, or what would, you know, the celebration be like, or whatever, or just what daily life would be like waking up with this person. But it's also talking about like a celebration or some kind of this could be someone you were actually married to, but I just feel like, you know, there was this thought that you guys were going to be connected forever. It was like a very pure kind of thought on your end of what that love felt like. Like it was like almost like a childlike love. And in a way, I feel like that has, so since we're asking what's holding you back from abundance, it could be that relationship, you know, was taking up too much of your mental energy, and so you weren't actually able to focus on doing the work. Like I feel like you were supposed to be kind of like planting the seeds and doing the tough stuff, but this person spent so much, you spent so much time thinking about this person and imagining them and dreaming about them and hoping about them, that it's almost like you haven't had the time or the mental space to think about like, what are my talents, what am I good at, what would I be best at, you know, career-wise, it's like that stuff all took a backseat to this relationship because it was just so incredible. And I do think you're a very loyal person, so you were like, even if this relationship never came to fruition at all, or if this person left you or whatever, you're still the type of person to be like, well, I'm not leaving them. I'm going to keep, you know, holding on. I'm going to keep staying loyal. But I don't know if that loyalty is misplaced, because it seems like it's coming up in you know, this isn't like a, hey, what's going great in your life reading. This is a what is holding you back from abundance reading. What is holding pile 4 back from abundance? The orange cake. Flow. Okay, we got pleasure reversed, success, relaxation, flexibility. Yeah, I feel like maybe you had a very rigid idea of what was supposed to kind of happen in your life. Like, you thought, you know, it was going to be like a marriage and 2 kids and this perfect situation, you know, and that was something you really wanted. Or kind of, if it's not that, or you're like, well, I never really wanted that. It was something like, you know, maybe like the perfect job, where you were like the, you know, perfect like girl boss or guy boss in, like, you know, the cutest like black suit with, you know, going out to like expense lunches or something like that. But I feel like you had a rigid idea of what you wanted in your life, or what you were expecting to happen. I feel like for a lot of you that involved this relationship, and, you know, I feel like Spirit is just telling you that it ain't gonna happen. Not to be harsh, but it's just like, it's not gonna happen, time to move on. I'm a very blunt person. I have Pluto square my Mars, so I don't mean to be harsh, but it's just like, they're talking about a transformation for you. They're talking about a moment of really you switching it up and realizing that this is not gonna be how it happens. Whatever vision you had in mind, it's just not going to work out. And that's okay, because they have something better for you in store. But I feel like you're blocking that, and you're just saying like you don't want to. In fact, when I started this reading, I was surprised, because I was like calling in like, okay, what do we need to know? Which is usually what I do, and usually the stuff comes to me pretty quickly, and I wasn't getting anything, and that's why I was like quiet when I was shuffling at first, because I was like, okay, I'm trying to listen, but I'm not hearing anything. I feel like now that makes sense, because I honestly feel like you're blocking the spiritual, like you don't want to know, kind of like you want to know, but you don't want to know, because the answer, you're not going to like it, you know? And it's kind of like you're putting like your hands over your ears like a little kid and being like, no, I can't hear you, you know? It's like, I feel like the stuff that you thought was going to be your like life story is not. And I feel like you had an idea written in your head kind of like, it's gonna go this way, but it's not gonna go that way, you know? And that's okay, because I think they have something better in store for you, but it's just a different path. I mean, you do have the Star, which is such a positive card, and it talks about destiny, really. It talks about that, you know, Spirit has a plan for us that's greater than what we have. And it's our job really to focus on the little, like, I'm seeing the little crumbs from Hansel and Gretel. You know, obviously they ended up at a witch's house, but they were dropping the crumbs so that their parents could find them. But it's like, so I'm not saying you want to go to your destination as a witch's house. I don't think it is. But it's kind of like, you know, when they were trying to find each other or whatever, all you can do is focus on one crumb at a time. You don't get to see the whole destiny. You don't get to see what's at the end of it, you know? But we just follow one from will lead you to each place. And I feel like right now you don't want to see the crumbs. You're still so focused on the past and thinking about what happened. I feel like you almost, some of you had to make a decision, or there were things that you did in the relationship or in the non-relationship that you regret. And it's almost like you're still holding on to this past of what could have been. I'm hearing what could have been, what should have been. Like, that's the song. I don't remember. I think it's Rascal Flatts or something, but it's like what could have been, what should have been. And I feel like that's, I know my singing is so beautiful. Sorry to anyone who has to hear me sing, but I just feel like that phrase, what could have been, what should have been, is like something that is kind of summing up your thoughts and your thinking process. Is you spend time ruminating about like, oh, I should have done that different, or I should have taken this instead of that, or why did I do this? And it's like you're spending a lot of time ruminating in your head about it. And it's like you should be focused on what you have in front of you, which I feel like is honestly so exciting, you know? And I feel like instead you're blocking it. You do have this path to success, and you have this path to this beautiful life, but you're not open. You got openness flipped and reversed. So I think that there's a lot of blocking on your part. There's a lot of, I don't want to do this, I want it to be this way instead. But you have to understand that it's not necessarily going to be the way you planned it out, you know? Like, I feel like if you ask so many successful or famous people if they would have imagined if their life would have taken the turns it would have taken, they would have been like, heck no, you know? Like, this is so weird, but it keeps coming to mind. And I'm not saying you should do this at all, because I think there's so many risks with this kind of stuff. So don't mistake it as an endorsement at all. But I think like something that comes to mind is like Kim Kardashian. I'm sure when she became famous, it was like for that sex tape. And I think she said she thought it was the end of her life, and it was just so horrible for her and so traumatic. But, you know, that has ended up steamrolling into the life she has now, which I think she seems pretty happy with. So it's like there is this thing where you don't know where life is going to take you, and sometimes you just have to kind of roll with the punches a little bit. And again, I'm not advocating releasing a sex tape at all. I think there's so many risks with that, and it can be super difficult. And obviously she's an extreme case of how that ended up working out, because of basically her family and other situations. But I just feel like the point is that you never really know what is going to happen in your life, or where spirit is going to take you, or how a bad situation that started bad can turn out good and lead us to our destiny. I'm also hearing the song Invisible String by Taylor Swift. So I feel like that song is about how she didn't know that that all these relationships she had and stuff, and all these things that didn't work out, was preparing her for like leading her down the path to being with her current boyfriend. I think their boyfriend, they might apparently have gotten married, I don't know. But, you know, she seems so solid and happy with him, at least from the outside, or that's what she says. So I feel like there's this, you know, she's saying that all the little short-lived relationships that she had, where she was like, well, why isn't this working out? Why isn't it happening? You know, she wanted to have like a relationship a lot earlier, but none of them seemed to work out. But it's like those all needed to burn out so that she would be free and single and ready when Joe Alwyn came into her life. And now that relationship is so much more fulfilling than, you know, the other situationships she had with different guys, you know? And so I feel like that's the point, is that it really takes, you never know how something is going to work, or how you're going to meet someone, or what is going to take place, and you're kind of clinging a bit too hard to the past, or to it could have been this, or I want it to be this way. And it's kind of about being in that like receptive energy of just accepting that this is how it's going to happen. You got yin, which is like the more receptive energy. Yang is like the I'm going to go out and make it happen. And yin is like, I'm going to accept, you know, it's more of the feminine energy that's more about, I will accept this and I'm not going to fight it or whatever. And so I just feel like this is something that you know, you need to accept that whatever's coming in might not be how you imagined it, but it might be a million times better than whatever you imagined. But there's a lot of cards here about like you needing to be flexible and needing to be open, and maybe right now you're not really as flexible as you should be. We also got co-create, so I'm not saying that, you know, you're not going to have any say in it and you just have to like sit down and shut up and put up with like whatever the universe tells you. I'm not saying that. I think you are going to have a say in deciding exactly how you want to handle these things, but it's just that right now you're kind of blocking the movement from even coming in at all. Like nothing can come in and you can't even have a say in like, I kind of like this, but not quite that. Maybe if we try this. Nothing can come in because you're blocking it out, all of it, because you, I think, have an idea in your head of it was supposed to look like this. It was supposed to go this way. And because of that, you're not allowing the energy of like clearing. Like I think we got, which one? I think we got like clear it up. The cards are, yeah, we got clean it up. I feel like there's parts of your life that you need to kind of clear out from the past, even just mentally, clearing out connections to old people. You can always ask your spirit guides or the angels, Archangel Michael with his sword, to clear out old karmic connections that are no longer serving you. So to clear out any, what's the word? Any ties, any energetic cords to people who you can ask him to clear and sever any energetic cords that are no longer serving you or your highest destiny. That's something you can say so that those relationships you have that you might still feel energetically connected to but are not in your best interest will like fall away, and it won't be like traumatic. It won't feel like you're actually having someone cut something out of you, because you're not. This is an old kind of dead energetic cord, but it can still be transmitting energy. And sometimes that's what we see when someone's like, well, why can't I get over my ex? It's like, because you still have that energetic cord, and the other person might still be using it. It might be serving them, you know, it might be serving them really well, but that doesn't mean it's serving you well. And so sometimes it's important to, you know, ask them to decide, and ask them to clear out the cords that aren't serving you. If you're not ready to say, I want to cut ties with a certain person, then definitely don't. That's something you should be ready for and willing to do. But you could say, can you cut out the cords, cut and sever the cords to anyone who is no longer energetically serving me or my highest destiny and my best interest? Something like that. You could Google it for like the best phrasing, but I just think that would serve you so well, because I feel like there's people that you ruminate about. It might not even be, you know, romantic. It could be family or friends or whatever, but there's just this energy of like looking back through the past and kind of, you know, still living in that moment when it's like you have so many blessings coming in right now. You have so many amazing things that are ready and willing to come in. And I feel like you just, I mean, there's not a lot going on for most of us right now anyway with the pandemic. Everyone's kind of, you know, stuck at home mostly. So it's, you know, it's, I get it that if there's any time in history when people are going to be like, you know, spending a lot of time sitting around and reminiscing, it's going to be now. But it's really important for you, and I think things are going to change soon with that, if you, I think, you know, can clear that space in your life and just make it ready so that once everything kind of opens up, you'll have the room for those new things to come in. We got so many positive cards. We got big happy changes, perfect timing, and helpful people. I just feel like you have new relationships that want to come in that are going to help bring you into abundance. And I feel like right now it's hard for you to focus on getting like your life lined up with abundance and prosperity, because right now you're just reminiscing. And I feel like I just felt like so much pain in my heart, and I feel like that's from you. Like, this is a really painful time, you know, this has been painful, and I feel like because that pain is it's not serving you, you know? You have to know also this is a message of like happiness from spirit that's telling you that you have really amazing things coming in. I feel like you have so many blessings coming in. It might even be a soulmate, because we do have the Lover's card. So this might be a soulmate relationship that's coming in. Again, I asked spirit for a message about, you know, financial abundance, but maybe they're talking about other forms of abundance, and they got to tell me whatever they want to tell me. So I feel like they're talking about maybe you might have a soulmate coming in, but this is something that's so amazing. And I feel like when this, whatever these blessings are, come in, because this is a general reading, so I think it will apply differently for different people, you're going to be like, I can't believe I ever clung on to the past when this was what was waiting for me. Like, are you kidding me? How did I ever spend time worrying about like this person or worrying about this dynamic when this is my life now? Like, this is so beautiful and so amazing. And I just think they really want you to listen to your intuition, listen to them, meditate on it, and come to a place of like calmness, because I feel like they want to talk to you, but you kind of block it out. And I feel like you're full of so much disappointment for things that didn't work out, where you're like, why didn't this happen the way I thought it was going to happen? Why didn't this, you know, take place the way I imagined? It could have been so perfect. It could have been so amazing. And you spend time getting in that kind of loop of like things you missed out on, or what could have been different, or, you know, I'm hearing like I could have been a contender from I don't know what movie, but it's like that kind of energy of just feeling like I could have been this, or it could have happened. And they want to tell you that you're not, like, it's not game over yet. It's not like you're at the end of your, you know, story. I remember I was actually talking to like a family member of mine, like a cousin who was, I think at the time, like 22, 23, and was telling me that he was like, I just feel like I missed my opportunity to get, to like, in terms of like relationships. Like, he was like, you know, I feel like it's just so hard to find girls now, and I miss this opportunity, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, are you kidding me? Like, you're 22, and if you only knew everything you had ahead of you, you would never say that. And I was thinking back to me being like 18 or 19, and I remember at that age, I think I was like, I missed my chance for, I don't know what, it doesn't even make sense now. So I tried to remember a few days ago, because I was thinking about like, it's so funny to me. I remember being like 18 or 19, and I'd had a boyfriend in high school, so I don't know what this was about, but I think I wanted like a soulmate, and I was like, I missed my boat at having like a young soulmate, and it's never gonna happen to me. I'm never gonna, and it's so absurd, like, because I had, you know, my boyfriend in high school, but I didn't feel like we were like soulmates to the depths of our hearts, kind of a thing, you know. And so I was so fixated on what I had missed out on, and I literally was so young, and I had other relationships that came in that meant so much to me and were like transformative and kind of soulmate relationships. And it's like you look back in the past, and it's almost comical. Like, how could I have ever thought at 19 that I was old and washed up and no one was ever going to be interested in me? It boggles the mind. I mean, it's just crazy. And that's what I was telling my cousin. I think he said he thought he looked too old now. And I was like, you're 22 and you look amazing. You don't even have a single line on your face, and, you know, you look young, and like, what the heck are you talking about? But I remember also being that age and feeling that kind of way, and it's almost like hysterically funny when you get older, because you're like, wow, I can't believe that I thought that was like the end of the road for me. So I bring all that up to say, like, I feel like that's what you need to realize is, I feel like you're kind of in this mode of like, my life is over, or this didn't happen. You're so fixated on that. And it's almost crazy because there's so many blessings coming to you. There's so many great things in your life. Like, your story is not over. You still have so much more of life to live and so many great things to come in. So many blessings that are wanting to come in. And I feel like you kind of get in this like almost depressed vibe of feeling like it's not gonna happen. It didn't happen. It's too late now. And being like really sad and upset about it. But you know, it's just, I mean, it's just not the truth. Not to be too blunt, but it's crazy. It's not the truth. You have so many blessings that are wanting to come in. I mean, look at the cards, like, hello. And the only thing that's blocking them from coming in is that attitude that you have. You have to understand that, you know, this is like a destiny path that you're on. And it is going to lead you to so much happiness, but it's just that I think any pain that happened was for a reason. It was part of your destiny path. So everything that is not for you is not for you, and there's nothing you can do about it. And what is for you will not miss you. So you just need to understand that. And like, it's like for all the times, again, not to be bringing up Taylor Swift again, but how many times did she date different guys and have people be like, oh my God, what a loser she is. She's never going to find a man. Oh my God. And meanwhile, now she has probably the cutest, hottest guy she's ever dated by far. I'm trying to think. I feel like there's no contest. I feel like he is. I think that Kennedy guy was kind of cute, but he was like pretty young. So, yeah, I would definitely say Joe Alwyn is the most attractive. And it's like all those times that people were like, wow, she broke up again. Meanwhile, it was all a part of the plan because she needed to be single and open, and it needed to happen that way, just the way it did, you know? It was really perfect timing for her. It couldn't have been better. I think if someone else had entered her life, if like Joe had entered her life at any other time, I think he entered her life when like it was all falling apart, is what she says in her songs. Like, I like that Reputation album, so I feel like, again, I sound crazy, like I'm obsessed with Taylor Swift. I promise I'm not. But she comes up sometimes in readings because I feel like she's a Scorpio Mars, I think, and she's had a lot of these like hard lessons, and it's like an interesting case study. So but I think that, you know, she's had so many, like, so when that relationship came into her life, I think that was the summer that everything was falling apart, and that like Kanye West was going after her and released that video, and Kim was like going after her, and it was like everyone was saying Taylor Swift is over and she's canceled and all this stuff. So I truly think that if he had come into her life at any time before, when she was kind of going a million miles an hour and glamorous and partying all the time, like, he wouldn't have been into that vibe, because he seems super down to earth, and she's canceled a lot of like her celebrity friendships and also her like parties that she would throw since she got with him. I think she said she's just kind of like in more of a quiet vibe now. And I feel like, so he wouldn't have really vibed with it, and she would have been like, oh, he's boring, I don't want to date him, he's not fun enough. So it was the perfect timing to come into her life the way it did. And even that major seeming L she took with Kim and Kanye was leading her up to that, you know, beautiful relationship, which she said has inspired so many of her albums. And I happen to really like, this is why I know about this relationship, because she's always writing about it in her last albums, and I really like her last, what are they, like 4 albums? I like Reputation, Lover, and then the last 2 like quiety kind of indie rock ones she's done. I really like those albums, and she talks a lot about him in it. So this is why I feel like I know their relationship, even though I obviously don't know them. So she, like, that relationship has inspired so much great art in her and stuff, and it was all, I think, supposed to happen that way. Even if they were to break up, it's like, I mean, you got like Grammy winning albums out of it, and you know, your art has gone to a totally deeper level. So what a huge blessing. And so I just feel like you know, I'm hearing it's almost darkest before dawn. It's always darkest before dawn. Yeah, like, for you, I feel like this is a really difficult moment, and I feel like if you just checked in with your guides, I think that's something that could help reassure you a little bit, is checking in with them, meditating a little, and they would give you an indication. I mean, if you know how to meditate or you know how to check in psychically, you know, I don't know how to explain it if you don't, but it's like you can just clear your mind and kind of check in with that quiet voice. And if you stay with it and you could ask them, please give me an indication of what blessing, where I'm headed. And they're willing to do that, you know, to reassure us. Sometimes they're like, you can't know, it's kind of like a surprise party. You can't know anything. But most of the time, especially when we're really desperate and we're like, I need to know, they'll give you, even if it's a little hint, and you'll kind of get the vibe of like, okay, so it's a new love, or like, oh, so it's a business, or oh, so it's this. And so I feel like if you did that, you would feel so reassured, like, okay, you know, so it's gonna happen like that. Okay, now I know, now I get the vibe, because I think that you spend a lot of time actually kind of psychically doing stuff, but it's more along the lines of reminiscing or wishing it could have been different. So it's like you're not really talking to your guides, but you're kind of having a one-way conversation, like booming out to them, being like, and remember this? And they're like, dude, we have something way better in store. It's like you're crying over hamburger and they have like filet mignon waiting on the side. You know what I mean? And you're still upset about like, but the hamburger, it's not even like hamburger. It could be like dog food compared to what they have bringing in, you know? And you're just like so upset about like the loss of it. And they're like, come on, not to make a light of like your pain, but they're like, we have Kobe beef filet mignon right over here and it's hot and ready. And all you're doing is like reminiscing about all the things you lost, and they want to bring in that beautiful Kobe beef. So get rid of the dog food, get rid of the hamburger, throw it out, and let's move on to the Kobe beef, you know? I mean, I gotta be blunt. I have a harsh Mercury, so it's a good thing. You know, this new stuff that wants to come in is such a blessing, and you're going to be so happy it did. But you just have to be strong through this period. And like I said, meditating and listening to them, I think, don't have the one-way conversation where you're just like, and then I wanted this, but it didn't happen. Blah, blah, blah. Like, they're around with you all the time. They can see when you're like crying alone and stuff. And I feel like they want to talk to you. They want to tell you like, listen, it's all going to happen. It's all according to plan. But you're so caught up in your emotions that you can't hear them. I feel like if you were to tune in and meditate and listen to them, they could give you an indication of exactly what direction it's headed. Because I've asked them a few times now to, in my head, like not out loud, you can't hear me, but I've asked them a few times to give me an indication of what direction it's going, what blessing is coming in. And they've said they can't, it's a general reading, so it's going to depend on each person. You know, some people have love coming in, money, it's all different. So I can't say for sure, you know, in your group, like, oh, it's definitely going to be a new man, or it's going to be $1 million or whatever. But I know I can feel these blessings are coming in. That's what they're indicating. They're telling me that they're there. There is a timetable. So for some people, it's going to come in really quick. For others, it's going to take a little longer. But this is the path that you're on. That's the end of the path, okay? It's not Hansel and Gretel ending up at the Wicked Witch's house and you're going to get baked in the oven. It's not. It's like an amusement park and it's going to be amazing and so much fun. And you're going to be like, yes, yay, riding on the rides, hands in the air, screaming with joy. It's going to be great. So you don't need to worry. But I know a lot of you do want reassurance about what exactly does this mean. And I would say try to meditate, you know, pray also. If you're not the best meditator, you can always pray to your angels. Prayer is a form of meditation, and ask them to show you a sign. Be like, and this is what I always say, because like I said, I'm blunt and I have a harsh Mercury. I always say, please make it obvious, because I'm not this was when I first started, you know, doing this. I can do it now on my own, but at the time when I first started, I said, listen, please make it obvious for me, because I'm not the brightest bulb and I need you to tell me. I need you to tell me direct. Now I probably wouldn't say that, because you're kind of, you know, putting that out there and manifesting that, and we always want to talk positively about ourselves. But I kind of joke with my guides, and I always tell them, you need to make it clear, like a neon flashing light, not like a little, you know, cute, like kind of atmospheric sign like you would see on the side of like a hipster store. I need like a neon, garish, Las Vegas sign flashing and like pointing, you know what I mean? I need it as obvious as possible. So tell them you want a sign about what exactly kind of blessing is coming in. Tell them to make it obvious. Tell them to make sure that you know, this is a message that you kind of can't miss. And then keep your eye out so that you can understand that. You can always also ask for special indicators that will let you know this is a communication from spirit. So you could say, I need to see like a platypus or something really specific, or like a frog, or, you know, a walrus or something that is not just something you see all the time every day. And you don't have to see an actual walrus walking down the street. I would think that would be kind of odd. If you see that, you might be like hallucinating. That might be a whole other problem. But you might see a photo of one or a movie or something, kind of a vibe, and all those count. So you can ask for certain things that will mean something to you, you know, or a certain specific color, like a neon purple or something that you would know is like your indicator. And then once you see that, really keep your eyes peeled for the next few moments, because that's a sign that like they're kind of like being like, hey, look over here. And then you have to keep yourself open in those moments, for that's when the message a lot of times will come in, you know? So ask them, you know, just tell them. You don't have to do that. I just ask for signs in general, because I like to, you know, I like them. I feel like that's an extra step for them, and I like to make it as easy as possible. So it just depends on how you want to hear from it, but ask them for a sign. I know they'd be happy to give to you. They're indicating that they would love to talk to you. They would love to communicate clearly with you. They would love to speak with you and to give you answers, you know? And I just feel like they really want to talk to you. That's coming in really strong. They're like, yeah, emphasize that. Emphasize it. Like, they really want you to know that they're really more than happy to speak to you. They really want to talk to you. And so do that, you know? And I feel like you're going to feel a lot better when you know kind of what direction it's headed. So you got, you got the moon, you got Virgo, and you got the 6th house. So Virgo and the 6th house, I think that's Virgo. It looks super similar to Scorpio, but yeah, that's Virgo. And you got the 6th house. So Virgo rules the 6th house, or they're related. So Virgo rules a few different things. The 6th house, same. It's kind of about healing. It's about the body. It's also about routine, daily routine and stuff like that. It's also about communication. And I just feel like that's a big thing here. It's also about like schedules and what kind of a daily schedule you have. I feel like, again, what they're saying is, you know, this destiny path that you have, like, this is on a schedule. It's everything that's happening is like anointed, supposed to happen. It's happening maybe not at the rate you would prefer, because if we all had like the path, we'd all win $1 million like in the next second, right? Like, we would all choose that. But you know, we have these paths for a reason, so that when the money comes in or when the blessing comes in, we can handle it. A lot of times when you look at people who blow through their money, it's almost always like young celebrities or young athletes that blow through like $100 million, because, you know, they were 19 when they got the money and they had no idea how to handle it. And they thought, why not go spend it on like a Lamborghini, and buying a Lamborghini for all my friends, and, you know, buying mansions just to throw parties and stuff like that. And they blow through, you know, all the blessings. So it's better to have things come in at the right moment. And I feel like right now you just have to trust the path, be a little bit patient, and just be open to whatever comes in. The moon is all about psychic ability. It's all about, you know, your intuition and trusting yourself and using, you know, that gift that you have of psychic intuition, and using and knowing also that the moon is about, you know, our connection to the other realm. It's about spirit. It's about our guides and stuff. And so all you have to do is like speak to them, ask them for help, and they will come in and they will assist you. But just know that this is all anointed the way it's supposed to happen. You know, the tides of the moon, it's like the moon controls the tides, I guess is what I was saying. Kind of sentence didn't make sense. But the moon controls like the waves pulling in and out and stuff. And there's so many things that like are a destiny that are kind of controlled by like these supernatural forces outside our awareness as humans, you know? And the moon also has its stages where it's like full, waning, new, waxing, and gibbous, and all this stuff. So the thing is that you're supposed to just know that this is happening on a schedule for a reason. Know that this is all preordained, and whatever you're going through now, it's temporary, it's bringing in blessings, but you have to be open to it. And you can always ask your guides for guidance as to what kind of blessings coming in, what direction, and you know, stuff like that. They might not be willing to give you specifics, but they definitely want to talk to you, and I know that they would give you some guidance so that you can, you know, rest a little easier and not be as stressed. I just feel like you just need to relax a little. It's funny because I told Pile 3 the total opposite. I was like, you need to stop relaxing and you need to work hard, and you got the flip. You need to relax a little, just chill, and just, you know, take it easy. Don't be so hard on yourself, or as, oh, I wish this had happened, blah, blah, blah. Like, no. They've got something great coming in, and you're going to be so overjoyed that it happened the way it happened. So just keep your chins up, and just be, you know, just trust the process, because it's all flowing the way it should flow, you know? And maybe relax. Don't feel like I gotta do this. It's like, be open to the path. And this is kind of a time when I think like it's okay for you not to be going 100 miles an hour. It's okay for you to be a little easy on yourself and to give yourself that grace and that room for the changes to come in. Because I do think this is on a timetable, and it's all happening the way it should. So just know that, rest in that, relax in that, and your guides are with you. They're so protective of you. They love you, and they, you know, they can't wait to talk to you because they really want you to talk to them. So they keep nudging me to say that. So hit them up, I guess. But yeah, I hope that helped you guys. If it resonated, please leave it in the comments. I love hearing, especially, I know you guys are going through a hard time. So I hope this helped. And, be sure to subscribe if you want to see more videos. I post every few days, so if you would like to see more of my content, make sure you're subbed. And yeah, I will see you guys in my next video. Sending you guys so much love and support and light. See you guys next time. Bye.